Yes, people, and welcome back to another DR Game Day Watch Along. Listen, we got a big one. Monday night football, and it's the Merseyside derby. We got Liverpool versus Everton at Anfield. And of course, I've got a lovely car sitting next to me. Of course, I got Ellie. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Listen, in the red corner, representing the Liverpool, we got the man Doyle. Of course, how you doing, bruv? You good?
I'm alright, lad. As good as I can be in the current climate that my team is in. But yeah, I'm okay. The players are back today, so I'm feeling okay. Yes. Let's just say that.
Listen, it's going to be a big one. I'm anticipating a lot of entertainment. Of course, they say it's the city of brotherly rivalry. In the blue corner, we got your blue brother.
Yeah, man.
Mikey, how you doing, bruv? You good?
Man, I'm struggling, I'm struggling because
you've been stressed.
we go into a derby and there's actually people believing we can win.
I don't understand why you're being so negative. I literally got in here saying I was expecting to see you like spring in your step, thinking, right, come on, we've actually got a chance of staying in the Prem now. And I've never seen anyone more negative.
Nah, it's not that. I'm a positive person, but I think it's one win in 24 at Anfield. So it doesn't happen often. So if it happens tonight, expect fireworks, people.
But
Big fireworks.
If anyone's going to do it for you, it's going to be Dyche.
Oh, absolutely. Dyche and big man Ellie Sims up front, number 50 there, making his first start for Everton tonight. Woohoo! Come on, you Blues!
What's the feeling like coming into this? Because this is obviously going to be Sean Dyche's first Merseyside derby. Is it going to be one where the new manager bounce is still there? Obviously, you played Arsenal last week, beat them in a real grind-it-out result, I would say. But a performance that you would say Everton deserved to walk away with some points. Could you guys maybe bring that back today, do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the players are going to be playing for the fans, for Dyche. Most importantly, though, they've got something to play for. Like under Lampard, it was very dejected. There was no real strategy. Whereas he's came in, it's been very simple. Mm-hmm. Go back to basics. Tell these players to pass between the lines, deliver balls into the box, and cause problems. And all of a sudden, we've got a game plan. So Liverpool haven't been great defensively this season, conceded 30 goals. Their midfield's poor. So Everton can get at them. It's just you always have this stress being an Everton fan going to Anfield that you're just not going to get anything. Because we've gone to Anfield, been the informed team, played Liverpool off the park and still lost 1-0. And that's what happened. So big game. Dyche, he's got the right mentality to deliver tonight. So let's just see if he does.
Doyle, is that what it's about, like going back to basics? Because obviously Liverpool this season, it hasn't been the usual Liverpool, you would say. But is that what it's now about getting back to? And in a Merseyside derby is this type of game where you want to show going back to basics, getting the result out. It's not really about the swashbuckling performance, but more about just almost getting in, getting out, even though it is a derby.
We're at Anfield, number one, so they have to play for the fans. And I think with what he just said there, it's a Merseyside derby, mate. Both teams are going to want to perform for the fans, essentially. So I think this will still be a good game. The only thing I'm worried about is corners with Dyche. He's talking about game plan before, and I don't know what game plan it is other than a low block and score a corner like Burnley used to. This is Burnley 2.0, and we've seen it with Arsenal, lad. They frustrated them. They were difficult to play against, and it was just Everton, that was Burnley all over again.
I feel like saying the low block thing with Dyche sometimes is a little bit I don't know, doing him a disservice, because even in that game, the midfield, Decore hadn't started in how long? To bring him back completely from the wilderness to say, you know what, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to go with these three.
The way he did as well.
Monstrous. And then to say, like, even in the first 10 minutes, I noticed Damari Gray and Iwobi were on opposite wings, and he said, nah, this inverted stuff isn't me. Get chalk on your boots, get down the byline, and just whip it into Calvert-Lewin. And his benefit is heading the ball, let's be honest. And once they started doing that, they started getting in and around him. I think there is a little bit of a tactical plan there. The question is can Liverpool's midfield, which has been a weak point this season, do you think they can cope with that kind of trio?
I mean, Onana's fantastic footballer, isn't he? Without a shadow of a doubt. So he's going to do bits in that midfield. We've got Bajic starting, who's a young lad and he plays well for us, but I can't see him putting up a fight against Onana.
This is going to be almost like a blaze of, walking into the fire for him.
Yeah, but this is the same for the young lad they've got starting up front. He's 22, Ellis Sims, it's his first start for Everton. He's playing at Anfield, mate. That's why I'm not really particularly worried, because they don't have much threat going up front. Unless he has a blinder, I don't know, he might do. But they don't have much threat going up front. We might have been poor defensively, but what are they going to do? How are they going to score a goal today, other than a corner? And if we defend them well, how's that going to happen? And you're talking about...
But that's the whole point, if you defend them well.
Yeah.
And your defence hasn't been saying much recently.
No,
so you're saying,
well.
if they get a corner, if they do it. But we've seen what Dyche's team's like with set pieces. I mean, he's got 2 of the players that he had at Burnley, specifically that he actually took to Anfield and ended their 68 home game win, running win. Yeah. So
with Burnley,
with Burnley, with those 2 players, Tarkowski, McNeil, we saw what they could do last weekend against Arsenal.
Even Cody.
Why couldn't he do that again now?
He definitely could. I think the thing with Dyche is his tactics aren't phenomenal in the sense that, the new age and they make you think about football in a different way. It's very traditional. That's what I mean by a low block. He's a great man manager. He knows how to get the most out of his players. That's how he had players in Burnley that were 30, 35 and he was still performing at the top level. He's a fantastic manager. Yeah. And the way we've been performing, anyone can score. I could go to Anfield and score again. Anyone can do it. Me Nan could go to Anfield and score against us. Do you know what I mean? It's just, in these games against Everton, they just don't fare well against us. It's a mentality thing. It was the same with Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Every time Arsenal go to Tottenham's ground, they struggle. Every time Tottenham go to Arsenal's ground, they struggle. It's just the way it is.
Till recently.
I think a big thing as well is, Sean Dyche coming into Everton, historically, we've liked these bread and butter managers that deliver okay football but get results. I mean, one of our best periods in my lifetime is David Moyes.
Yeah.
So you've got someone coming into Everton who he has got a better team than what he had at Burnley with better footballers. We can all sit here and comment on players like people like Tom Davies, for example, who's a championship player, but there's also players like Onana, as you mentioned. Damari Gray's looked very difficult to play against since he's played. Yeah. You've got Dwight McNeil, who would deliver balls. You've got Calvert-Lewin, whether he's fit or not, irrespective. When he is playing, he's a handful. And you've got a fairly solid base. Everton, it's weird me saying this, but Everton have actually got the 7th best defensive record in the league.
That's weird. At the start of the season as well.
It is because we can't score goals.
Yeah.
And the problem is that wasn't addressed in January, and it needed to be addressed in January. Obviously, we got linked with a player. We almost signed him. Spurs decided they wanted him instead, so we went and signed for him to sit on the bench.
Sorry, bro.
Shame being thrown.
Game is the game. Soko has happened before.
It takes our best attacker last season and then decides to take him this season as well. But for real, all of a sudden Everton have got an identity back. So it's a massive game that genuinely could go either way.
Yeah.
The more I'm talking, the more like Ellie's infectious personality is just it's saying, Mike, you're going to win 4-0.
I just don't know why.
Ellie's getting a lot of love in the chat today as well.
I just don't know why you wouldn't be positive. Going to Anfield, you know what Dyche's like at Anfield. We've seen it in the past.
Okay.
You're coming off the back of a win against the league leaders. And now you're playing Liverpool. No offence, Doyle, but it's a good time. It's a good time to play Liverpool, and it's a good time to come in with not only a new manager bounce, but a new manager bounce that is Sean Dyche.
Yeah, it's just because it's Everton. It sounds silly, but big teams going to Goodison Park and losing is not new. Like Everton have been good at beating better teams. We beat Arsenal last season. I think we beat Chelsea as well last season. If I don't remember. No. I think we got draws against Liverpool this season. Everton have always been better at playing against the bigger teams because I think, in a mindset way, the whole legacy of Everton, the whole history of Everton, the 9 top flight titles and all this going back years and years and years and years and years. There's still enough people in that stadium that believe Everton is still a massive club. Now, they're not in my lifetime, but there's still people that go there that believe they are. So you have this aura whenever a big team comes. You've got this thing like, we're going to be up for this today. We're going to smash these today. And you don't get that when you've got Norwich going there or the Southampton going there. And that's not a disrespect to those clubs, but they're not perceived to be bigger. So when we play Liverpool, we're really up for it. It's just when we go to Anfield, honestly, we could be top of the league, unbeaten in 37 games and go there for the 38th game and lose. Like, it's just this mentality thing. And if Sean Dyche can deliver today, if we can get a win, I mean, I'd be unbelievable. But if you offer me now a draw and you're telling me that we get 4 points from Arsenal at home and Liverpool away, I'll sit here tonight and tell you that Everton are going to stay up.
I love that. And I've said,
just if it happens.
With Dyche coming in, that is for me the biggest factor in Everton. I said you will stay up because that's someone for me who's experienced. He knows the basics. He's got players who he can work with and trust. And I think even when Lampard was leaving, the one thing you saw in the players is they felt disappointed. They almost let him down. It wasn't a thing of them downing tools. But the lineups are just coming out as well, and we're probably going to kick off in about 15 minutes. Elle, do you want to take us through? Ellie, do you want to take us through these lineups?
Yes, let me. I'm going to use yours. You've got them up.
Go for it.
So, Doyle, Liverpool, none other than Alisson in goal.
Wonderful.
We've got Joe Gomez, Andy Robertson, Joel Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Not so much.
That's what I expected, to be honest with you. Van Dijk's back on the bench, though, you know.
Yeah, back on the bench, and also back on the bench. We'll get to your bench,
Lovely.
but exciting stuff, I think, for you guys.
Yes.
In midfield, we've got Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, and How do you say his name?
I mean, I'm a Scouser, so everything I say is probably wrong anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll say it anyway. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, kid. Bajetic.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I feel like that's the proper way to say it.
That's quite good, actually. Although you just hit the nail on the head with you're a Scouser and you were saying it wrong. I literally couldn't understand a word Doyle said to me when I got here earlier.
Yeah,
like he said a whole line to me and I just went...
She's on this face where she just went...
Cool.
I was like, you're going to have to repeat that whole thing. I didn't miss a word or two. The whole thing was gone. Anyway, forwards, we've got Salah, Cody Gakpo and Darwin Nunez.
Bags of goals in there. Particularly in January, We've had a great January.
You looking at Fabinho potentially? Obviously, having been out of the last 2 games in the wilderness, his form over the last year or so has fallen off a cliff.
It has, lads.
This is the kind of game where you kind of look at him and think, listen, show me a little something, please.
And he got left out, didn't he? So he's been left out of the squad. And after the 3-0 defeat at Wolves as well, that was nothing to do with Fabinho, but after that 3-0 defeat, you know what Klopp actually did? He told the players to take 2 days off afterwards. He was like, none of us need to see each other right now. This is frustrating. We need to go and reset, have some time away. Mentally, it'll be better for you lads. And they come back. And I'm hoping this is a reset button. And the one thing, we were talking about big games before, Liverpool this season, right, we have been very poor, but we've beat Man City. We've beat Tottenham. We've beat Napoli. Big game, beat Ajax. The big games we are seeming to turn up for, which I am happy about, to be honest with you. And with this lineup and some of the players back and even on the bench, it gives the other lads confidence.
Yeah.
The starting lads, it does. Even to know that Van Dijk can come on, to know that Jota can come on late in the game, it's a massive incentive to keep going.
Having that depth there, yeah.
We've missed them so much, honestly. I know, like, Jota goes under the radar a lot, but that player is fantastic. We missed Diaz as well massively, but Jota, honestly, is a goal-scoring machine. Yeah. So can't wait to see him back.
I think with Jota, though, let's go through the subs and then I'll say what I've got to say about Jota. But so subs, we've got Milner, Keita, Harvey Elliott, Firmino, Jota, Virgil van Dijk, Tsimikas, Nathaniel Phillips, and obviously Kelleher as well on the bench. So what I was going to say about Jota is I just feel with Liverpool, something that's missing massively is the energy.
Yeah,
like, massively. You guys thrive off the press, and that comes from having energy, and it's just been missing. How do you feel that Jota will bring that back into the team?
I think, like I said before, having the incentive that you've got them workhorses in the team that are going to do the high press. We've all seen it. Liverpool create chaos. That's what we do, and we capitalise on that chaos and score goals. That's what we've done for the last 5 years. This season, the high press is non-existent. It's not there, which means when the high press isn't there, midfield the defence can go right past the attacking line, go over the midfield, straight to their attack, and we can see the many chances. Too many gaps. So I feel like a player like him, he's been out for ages, he's coming back, he's going to be energised, he's going to want to play. It's against Everton. I just feel like he'll bring a lot of energy to the squad, and it's something that we've been missing. I always say it, with football, mentality is the biggest thing. It's how Leicester won the league. Definitely. It's how you can get the most out of your players, is mentality. And I think Jota's got a fantastic one. When he started playing for Liverpool, scored straight away, and then just kept scoring, and nobody expected that.
Would you not have put him straight into the starting lineup though? He's back fit. Why would you not put him back in?
Because honestly, Ellie, we've been tortured with injuries, and I just can't bear the thought of bringing him on now and then going straight back off. We got Diaz back, so what happened with Diaz? We brought him back a little bit early. He was saying he was sound, he felt good, and you know this with Reece James, what happens. And the players always want to play, and I love that. I love them for it. They want to compete, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. And I don't feel like Jota, after having 4 months out, is ready to play a 90-minute intense game against a defensive side that are going to kick lumps out of him. I just don't think it's ready for that. But I do think 70th minute, no goals, get that little whip it on. You know what I mean?
And to be fair, that was one of your strengths last season when you had that whole front core kind of firing on all cylinders. You were like wave after wave, and 60th minute, if we haven't broke your door down,
I said that. How many times they say that to you?
Firmino, Jota. Yeah, literally. I remember even
always.
against us, it was one of the things. I remember it was 2-2 in the end, but it was just wave after wave all the time. But let me just go through the Everton side here as well. You've got England's number one, Jordan Pickford, of course, James Tarkowski, Connor Cody, Seamus Coleman, and Vitaly Mikalenko in the back four. And in the midfield, you've got Onana, Doucouré, and Idrissa Gana Gueye in that midfield three again. Dwight McNeil and Iwobi out wide, and then Ellis Sims getting his first start, as we said. And I think this season they said he's got 7 goals and 17 for Sunderland in the Championship. So it's not like he's, just popped up from the academy. He has been playing and he has been scoring. Is he are you hoping he can kind of almost have that? Do you remember Marcus Rashford?
Yes.
Early on, you don't have that fear. There's no pressure. You can just come on the scene. Big Liverpool game. I mean, if you're growing up in Liverpool, coming out of the academy, these are the kind of games you dream of playing in. So is this not the dream scenario for him in a sense?
Absolutely, and it's about that positivity that he's known that he's going to be playing this game for a couple of days, so he's been able to prepare. Hopefully that they've worked on a game plan. He's a similar build to Calvert-Lewin, so he's strong, so hopefully he can hold the ball up. I appreciate he's going up against seasoned veterans in defence for Liverpool, so I'm not expecting him to glue to his feet, but he'll do a better job than Neil Maupay will do, so that's a positive for him. And once he's got them first few touches, he'll have that bit of confidence. He'll have that bit of confidence, maybe turn on it, get a few shots off early, because that was one of the things that we did against Arsenal, is we were shooting a lot more, so hopefully he gets the chances. He's got the physical presence in the box to score goals. He's scored goals in the Championship in a difficult league, we all know that, so that's a positive. And the rest of the Everton team, it's work, it's graft, it's typical Sean Dyche. It's the reason why Damari Gray's not starting, is because Dwight McNeil will offer more defensively, and he's probably got a better cross. So that's why he's gone with people like that. Iwobi's a ball carrier, so he'll work through the transition, through the lines, through whatever midfield press that Liverpool may or may not do. And then defensively, look, as I said earlier, defensively, it hasn't been... Look, it's not great. I mean, we've conceded 27 goals, but
7th best, as you said.
It's the 7th best. It's not horrendous compared to... Yeah, exactly. So the bottom 3 teams are all worse... the bottom 2 teams are all worse than us defensively, and then anyone above us, apart from West Ham, who've got the same issue. So...
Talk to me about Jordan Pickford a little bit. I feel like his performances this season, despite you guys kind of being struggling for form and everything, he has been fairly decent, but it's kind of gone under the radar because of the kind of team form. But speak on him a little bit. Yeah,
so with Jordan, it's
Jordan, always... best mates.
Now, in all fairness, Jordan's got this mentality that used to remind me a little bit of Joe Hart. He used to get up here and his head would go everywhere.
Yeah.
I would say that Lampard, one of the positives is that he probably toned it down a little bit. He probably spent some time with him getting to know Jordan for who he is and what he's about and his family and whatever, because that is one of the good things about Lampard. The thing is that I've seen is the fact that he has this ability to make saves that you just don't expect him to make. But he does also have a moment in him, so you do see it. But he's almost grown up. Like it's like he's 27 now. He's grown up. He goes into these games, and whereas before he'd be banging on the wall of the tunnel as he walked out, he'd be shouting at the players. He's just more chill. I've noticed in his distribution, he's gone back to his sort of Sunderland form where he was keeping the ball in the pitch, but actually he was finding the gaps and he was finding easier distributions. We saw it with Iwobi against Arsenal.
He was boss at that, I agree.
And that'll be something that they'll utilise today, because they'll expect Trent and Robbo to go into gaps and they'll want to play through the channels. So he's just grown up. He's just grown up.
Slicked his hair back and everything. He grew his hair out, slicked it back and went, I'm a man now, lad, okay?
Yeah,
chill out.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. And I think another thing is the emergence of players like Ramsdale, because now he's England number one. He's under pressure. Yeah. He's had to step up.
You got once that competition comes, it's almost that complacency isn't there where you can just kind of relax a little bit. But fair play.
If something's under threat, you don't want to lose it, do you?
Yeah.
Doyle, really interesting stat actually. So Liverpool, they haven't scored in in their last 3 Premier League games. The last time that something like that happened and they went 4 games without a goal was in Jan 2021, when none other than Sean Dyche came to Anfield and beat you with Burnley.
I knew you were going to bring this up. I absolutely.
How do you feel knowing that?
Awful, absolutely awful. And I didn't want to even mention it. I knew that stat before. I've seen it on Instagram somewhere, and I did not want to mention that. You can't ignore the signs. It might happen again. I hope it doesn't. But Sean Dyche is a great manager, without a shadow of a doubt. He plays the most basic game in the world, but he plays it the best it's ever been played. So he can beat us at Anfield. He's done it before. It's just what it is for me. Yeah, honestly, they don't have that. Who did they have up front? Ashley Barnes. That type of player. That's he's not the best striker in the world, but he'll score a goal or two in, lads.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
Everton don't have that. Bench.
I mean, he is a big, he is, but also we're not playing Arsenal, so he won't be that much of a
That's the only time it turns up.
But I just don't see that threat from them. I might eat my words at the end of the stream, and Ellis might have a hat-trick at the end of it. But I haven't seen him, so I can't say he's phenomenal or he isn't. So I just don't see the threat. I can't see the threat other than the corner.
Is it a little bit alarming? Is it a little bit alarming in the sense of not having scored in the last three, but you've got Mo Salah,
yes,
you've got Darwin Nunez, who's the big money man, you've got Cody Gakpo, who is the big January signing after a big World Cup. You would expect, seeing that front three at the start of the year, you'd be like, yeah, that's 30 goals there, that's 20 goals there, that's another 15 there. But now you're almost...
Brother, I remember right at the start of the season, Robbie went to me, hey, are you going to worry if you lose next week against Man United? And I was like, nah, I won't worry, lad. And all I've done since that very question, lad, is worry every single day of my life about Liverpool, and I'm getting sick of it. And yeah, the players again, they've just got no energy. Gakpo's coming into a team that's deflated, mentality gone. He's probably like, where have I signed here? But there was something that Klopp said about the mentality of the lads. He said he's come to push the train, he's not come to jump on it. So I do like that mentality, and that's what we're doing right now. We're rebuilding. We definitely are rebuilding. And I still think players like Jude Bellingham coming in the next season, do you think that could happen, lad? I don't think if we don't get Champions League, he won't come. I don't think that's the only.
Do you think you've got the finances though? I'll be honest with you, me personally, I chuckle a little bit because I'm like, it's almost like you have this. Liverpool fans have this. Oh, Bellingham's confirmed signed. He's done the medical. He's agreed because of a couple of pictures of Jordan Henderson at the World Cup. I'm like, guys, football transfers don't work like this.
Also, Klopp's calling up Dortmund every 2 days.
You're talking about potentially selling the club, and you need new owners. Klopp isn't being given money, supposedly. The whole squad needs refreshing, but you've got 150 million signing there. I'm like, surely you'd want to spend that on multiple areas in the squad, no?
I think in reality, FSG can definitely spend more. This club, when they bought it, was £300 million. It's now worth £3 billion. So even if they give us 500 million out of that £3 billion, we can still buy some good players and they can still be rich, okay? Yeah. And we are seeing that they do dabble in little bits of, they bought Nunez, they bought Gakpo, they are trying to reinforce. Yeah. We're just buying the wrong players, which is not what we've usually done. We've usually spent little, like Mo Salah, 36 million, Sadio Mane, 30 million. We do that and we make them into good players, lad, but we haven't picked right, and it's because Michael Edwards has chipped and that, lad. Our scouting system's changed. Everything in this Liverpool team right now is going through a transition, and that's why you're seeing such poor form. I expect more goals from all the lads, but after giving us everything in the last 5 years and playing every single competitive game that I've ever, every single one of them, we've got to every final. I don't know what I can expect anymore, lads, to be quite honest with you. What do I want from these lads? I want them to perform well. I want them to start building a new team, and I want to see a new identity from these lads. That's what I want to see. And Klopp, I think, can do that if he's given the opportunity. He's never been given that opportunity, and that's why people say they're 7th year. Because after that, this is the bad form that he got kicked out of the club while he walked. He's not doing it this time. He's shown commitment to Liverpool, and I think he can do it. I really do.
Are you worried by his attitude a little bit though, or
Klopp's?
Let me not say attitude. His presence and how he is in post-game pressers and press conferences. It almost seems like, I'll be honest with you, like Jose third season syndrome, where they almost seem like the dishevelled, angry guy, and it's like, listen, why are you asking me these questions? I know I can give you an answer, and I can give you the right answer, but I'm going to give you the agitated answer.
I get it,
and I'm just like, it doesn't always need to be like this, mate.
I get it.
I think he is always like that, though. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not anything different. We know Klopp. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He is the kind of guy that just gives you his whole emotion. So, although I think his pressers at the moment, they seem like he's agitated. He's exasperated by what's going on. He's just showing the emotion like he always has.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's anything different or anything necessarily.
Do you think it's potentially though him letting the pressure of this situation get to him?
No.
Because when it's Jose Mourinho, we say, oh look, he's rattled, he's getting pressured by the situation. But when it's Klopp, it's like, oh, it's just how he is. And I'm like, I know Klopp moans about results and things like that, even when he wins. Yeah. It's like, it was the grass's fault. Even though we won 3-0, the grass was too long, the wind was blowing too hard. And it's like, all right, we get that, but now it's like, it just seems a little bit excessive.
Think about the characters that you're talking about, right? Jose, cool man, yeah, I'm cool, I'm the special one. Nothing can make my composure break.
He used to be the normal one, wasn't it?
Jurgen Klopp is the one that goes mad when we're winning, and he's happy, lad, and he's going crazy, and everyone hates him, and he swears on the telly, and you have to bleep him out and all that. And then when we're losing, he hates it, and he doesn't like it, just like me and any other Liverpool supporter, mate, that wants the team to win. So I have no problem with him moaning a little bit, because if you're not moaning, what are you doing? Do you care about this?
I think as well he's fed up of having to almost explain himself.
700 questions of the same question.
And I agree with you, because I actually think if you, I hate to say this obviously, but I think every world-class manager at some point has had to develop the team. So, for example, Ferguson, how many teams did he go through at United?
Loads, lads.
He developed. Liverpool haven't had, whether it be money or whatever, they haven't strengthened, they haven't developed. And it's come to a head this season. It's come to a head. It's a lack of investment in midfield, lack of investment in general. So, it has to be a big summer for Liverpool. The one thing I would say is he's probably fed up of answering the same questions, and you don't blame any manager for that.
Yeah. It's also, you see them in presses, and they've come off the back of a loss. They go straight into a room where they're surrounded by media, and they have to answer to someone. I love the fact, one thing I do, we'll go into predictions in a second, we're about to kick off, but, I don't know what's going on in the back room, but I feel like with Liverpool is that the players just don't seem to be buying into Klopp at the moment. But one thing I like that he's doing is he's not throwing anyone under the bus. You saw someone ask a question about Henderson the other day, and he just went, just kind of, he was just what are you asking me? Shut up. He's one of our best. I won't ever say a bad word against him. Although I think maybe
bit,
should.
Though, that loyalty to those guys who got him the success there, is that not a little bit what's the downfall now, in the sense of still over-relying on Mo Salah, still over-relying on Virgil, Henderson?
But is that completely his fault if he's not being backed as well?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it as well. He hasn't had the opportunity to sign anyone else, so he's not gonna. He's got this team of players. There's nothing you can do about it right now. Why would you make them feel like you don't want them in your team? You're going to do everything to lift them up, because they've got to play for you. You don't have anyone else.
And you also said that about Darwin Nunez. And again, I hate to say it, Luis Suarez was rubbish the first season.
He was awful.
And then look what you did to him.
Players do it. Even I know this is not a slater.
It happens, doesn't it?
De Gea was awful for Man United, and then all of a sudden he became the best goalkeeper in the world. And in reality, let's look at last season. We played every single competitive game. Who looks at that squad and goes, need to strengthen this squad, even though you've just been to every final that you've ever been that you can play in, and you nearly won the Premier League. Need to strengthen this.
Yeah, but
that's what Fergie used to say when you win titles. You got to add on top competition.
And that's the game that's
how
now.
You keep it there.
And I also think that's exactly what Pep does so well.
Yeah, he does.
And that's why he is, I would say, the best manager, because even when they're doing well, they're that is another point. But I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm not complaining about that.
About to kick off.
Guys, what are you
liking
saying?
the stream as well as we go along as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, guys. Get involved in the conversation as well. Send your super chats in. We'll read them out as we can.
But guys, we are kicking off.
Literally.
So let's get the predictions in. Mikey, let's go with you first. 1-1. We're going for a draw over here.
1-1.
All right, Doyle.
10-0 Liverpool.
And a serious one.
If Liverpool are going to win, it's going to be a 1-0, and it's going to be scrappy, and all of you are going to fall asleep watching this, believe me.
Really? I don't think that at all. Phil, what are you saying?
I'm going 2-2 draw.
Really? Lots of goals?
I think there's goals in this match.
Who's scoring them goals for Everton, lads?
Jordan Pickford.
Watch.
Jordan Pickford.
I feel like your defence is capable of gifting goals. That's the problem. So,
it is. Particularly Mr. Gomez.
Yeah. So at the moment, the way he's been twerking, Ellie Sims, you can bag.
Can you stop that, please?
Hey, yo, listen. Ice Spice.
Oh man, come on, Blues.
We're off here now on the way.
Right, I'm giving mine, seeing as you asked what I think, and obviously, my opinion really matters. I'm going 1-0 to Everton. I'll give you a little explanation behind that. Liverpool love conceding first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so Everton are going to get a goal in early doors. Okay, I take the early doors back, but they're going to get a goal in, and then they're going to revert to Sean Dyche's protecting, what he says, protecting the V. Exactly how he explained the win for Burnley against Liverpool. It's got a bit of an odd name, actually, hasn't it? It is. It's protecting the V. So it's basically
the sides of you.
Yeah. It's in simpler terms, just don't let anyone get into the box. Really, it's old school, but I think it clearly works for him, doesn't it?
Very old
Pfizer
school.
Football here says 2-0 Everton. Am I right? Mr. I as well says 2-0 Everton.
Loads of people are backing Everton.
Crunch King 232 says 2-1 Liverpool.
They love me.
Ooh, I'm telling you.
They're trying to hype you up a bit more positivity.
Now, what Ellie said is actually my worst nightmare. I've thought about that. That's the only scenario I can see Everton winning is by scoring a scrappy goal, corner goal, something like that, and then literally clinging on to it for dear life, just like they did against Arsenal. And if Arsenal can't break them down, Liverpool ain't doing nothing.
To be fair, the only thing I will say to that is Everton probably should have beat Arsenal 5-0, but it's not.
Yeah, they should have. But
maybe not 5, maybe 3.
But I don't think that's a negative to take away. I think you can take away from the fact that, people say Arsenal were having an off day, but actually Everton went there and made them look bad. Yeah. They made them look bad. They didn't just win. They properly took home the 3 points, deserved.
I was so shocked by that result. I was watching that and I screamed out loud when that goal went in.
Polls just finished as well for the prediction for this game as well. Have a guess.
It's all going to be Everton, innit? It's all going to be bloody Everton.
42% Everton win at Anfield and 31% Liverpool. 25% prediction.
Isn't that mad? When you think where Everton was,
and it's over 1,000 votes.
It is. Everton have won one game, granted against the league leaders, but as if we're now talking about them. Would you ever have thought at the beginning of the season you were going to say Everton? We're going to beat Liverpool at Anfield.
No, Elliot didn't.
No.
To be fair, we had a goal disallowed in the game at Goodison that was literally a centimetre offside.
It was.
Do you remember how devastated I was?
Yeah. I just hope these lads perform today. It's a big game. They've got to perform for the fans. Give them something to cheer for, Because even, I'm going to be totally honest, I've been to Anfield recently. It's quiet,
I was going to say this.
It's quiet. And I'm a Scouser through and through, believe me. I love Anfield. But this season, everybody just seems so deflated. The manager, the players, the fans, everyone's just like, oh, why is this happening?
But the thing is, there's actually two ways that you can take this, and we've both just emphasised the word Anfield. Anfield is the place that everyone dreads going because of the atmosphere, because of the fans. I've sat pitch side in front of the fans, and it is raucous. It is loud. They make noise. But you'll say now, and I've heard this a lot, that it is quiet at the minute. So which is the right effect, and which way round is it? Is the quietness not making Liverpool perform, or is not performing making it quiet, or is it a bit of both, and therefore it's a vicious cycle?
I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's exactly what it is. They're all feeding into one another, and it's all just misery and despair. And honestly,
the fans are waiting for the players are waiting for the fans, type of thing, and no one's doing anything. So it's just like, all right, I guess we'll just have a stink off.
Yeah, we just need a big fat reset button for next season, and that's pretty much it. But that was all.
And I know you.
Oh, that touch from Salah just there, just sums up Liverpool in a nutshell there.
and I guess, what would you like me to cheer that, Ellie? Would you cheer that if that was Chelsea?
Oh my God!
What did I say gifted? Matip there gifting Sims a chance right there. Just like I said, your defence is capable of gifting.
What was that?
I can't believe I brought myself here to have thousands of people watch me cry potentially.
We want tears. We want tears.
Oh, it's a big block.
He saw his name in lights too much there. He should have took one more touch.
He got his bunda in the way there.
But Doyle, going back to what you were just saying then, like the reset button, because you guys have been saying it, game in, game out at the minute. This is the one now, it's going to be reset. But actually, could this be the reset? Because it's a massive Merseyside derby. Could actually Everton coming there thinking that they're the big bollocks, and the Liverpool fans want to actually be like, shut up, we're still better than you. Will they be making noise tonight?
I mean, I hope so. I can't hear it right now, but I'd love to think so. That's what I was saying at the start of the game. I think the players will want to play for the fans, and the fans will want to cheer today, because it is against Everton. It was the same when we played against City this season. We were still poor going into that game, very, very poor, but we beat them 1-0, and actually we were the better team when we played against them, and I think that was because the fans were like, do not let City beat us today at Anfield. Do not let that happen. And I think, it's going to feed into the players. But as we've just seen then, I don't know, he's slipping over as well. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing, because look at Matip and all the players right now making mistakes. This is terrifying. We've started the game poorly.
For me, it's like, when I see like Salah off form, Van Dijk off form, at least the last season it felt like the Matips, the Fabinhos, they were still picking it up and carrying it up. Now it seems like even those guys have just... the confidence has fallen by the wayside, and Salah's here just on the edge. Is it vintage?
That was not vintage. That was
not.
No, like you're right, Fuad, though. There's not an individual player at Liverpool right now that I think you could say, they're unbelievable. That everyone's not performing well. Apart Alisson.
Alisson, I agree. He's been our best player, and he's conceded 30 goals. How's that happened?
But I want to go back to the point that actually.
Go on.
Oh,
gifting. Go on, Sims.
Go on.
Hey, listen,
in
I'm
the middle,
Sims' biggest fan right now.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, he's got some energy, that boy, hasn't he?
I need a Sims goal today.
Why do you need that, Fuad? Do you score
debut goal in the derby. I don't know why.
Jordan Henderson on the wing.
I will love it, and I think he deserves
it.
Listen, man, football is all about beautiful narratives. Football is all about beautiful stories. Imagine your first start in your first Merseyside derby. Family there in the away ground, hiding their blue scarves, and you just go boom! Yes. Set the scene.
4 goals later.
Love it all, except for it's Everton and Liverpool losing, so no. I agree. Football is all about storylines, and you love a good underdog and all of that. But actually, we're the underdog going into this one. So
don't try it. Don't try it. We ain't buying that.
Yeah, you can't really feel sorry for Liverpool, can you? It's fine hard.
Listen, how good they've been for the past 4 or 5 years. It's I think it's...
They're sloppy just there. That touch was bad. But Salah, this is what I wanted to say. Like, at the beginning of the season, I remember having a conversation with someone on the channel, and it was basically talking about Mane and how, Mane can't leave that much of a gap at Liverpool. Yeah, he was a good player, but, there's a lot of good players at Liverpool. But actually... it has been since he's gone that it's all kind of taken a downfall. Would you say that it is slightly down to him, or do you think that is still a ridiculous comment to make?
Good players elevate standards, and you know what Mane and Salah used to do with each other? Compete. Everyone used to say they didn't like each other, and they did love each other, but they definitely were competitive with one another, and that helps elevate standards. Salah has nobody to push him now and make him a better player, because he is the best player. What's he supposed to, like, he's got it's all about mentality. He's got no motivation, he's got no incentive, he's got no competition, and he's just sitting off. He's got no contract to play for anymore. He's got 350 grand every week. He's chilling. He's won every single cup possible. What's he got to play for? I don't know what's got to play for anymore, do you know? And I think that's what we're seeing.
That's it. That's what people are saying though. Liverpool, like, they've had it all kind of thing. So what is there left? But you can't work like that. Otherwise, every
team works like that. That's what happens. Class of '92 won everything. Then eventually they fell off, and he rebuilt again. That's what happens with every team. We've had 7 years of really good football. We didn't win everything in 7 years, but in the 5 years we did. We won everything. So I just can't see incentive. It's these lads, the Nunez's, the Bajetics, the Gakpos. They're the ones. Was that they're the ones.
Is that a penalty there?
Yeah, it is. Is it?
Oh my god! I think he's given a free kick right on the edge there. So that's Darwin Nunez just dribbling in from the left side. He keeps drifting to that left side as well and coming in.
He's good. Honestly, right, I think I've said this before. I feel like Nunez's best position sometimes is on the left, lad, because he's got so much space to run to. Is this? No, it's a free kick. Definitely.
It is a free kick.
Yeah. But yeah, you're seeing that. He's not the best finisher in the world, but he does create a lot of chances. He does cause chaos on the back line, and he brings a lot of energy. Like,
you know what? Concerningly, he actually looks like a good. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I haven't seen this. Like, he looks like he's prepared to run at Everton, take them on, beat them out. He's clearly quick. That's concerning, because I've got to be honest. I don't look at him and think, he's tall, put the ball in the box. He's just a better version of Andy Carroll, but actually he's running with the ball there.
He is. Honestly,
under pressure.
When he was out for Liverpool, I can't believe it, but we missed him, lads. We really did. I think we've been so used to Mane and Salah finishing everything that comes to them, and he doesn't do that. He's not that type of player. He's a completely different one, but he does bring massive energy.
Is this Trent
Come
zone?
on, lads, score
Trent
this.
Zone here.
Look how much space he's giving you to slot that.
Right
lads.
on the edge of the D. Mo Salah takes
Mo Salah has never scored a free kick ever. I don't know why he takes the free kicks, lads.
I'll be honest, it is a bit.
Who would you put in free kick?
Every day. He scores free kicks. That's his job.
Don't make sense. It's like Harry Kane when he steps up to take free kicks.
I don't understand it, lads.
Sometimes the best goal scorers almost feel like they're the best hitters of the ball, and it just doesn't replicate.
Doesn't work like that. Like, you take all the pens, Mo. They're fine with that, like, because you scored a lot of them, but you never scored a free kick for Liverpool. And, I hate when he takes free kicks, lad, I'm not going to lie. He's a brilliant player, but that's not his forte at all.
Is he losing his fear factor a little bit? Well, you know, sometimes because you were saying on that as well, like, where Mane brings that kind of competition, brings the best out in him. Yeah. You said now he's maybe losing that motivation where he's done everything, won everything, got multiple golden boots, has the record. One of Liverpool's greatest legends, will be a Premier League legend as well, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But is it a thing now players or Premier League players are looking at him like, you ain't got that hunger about it? And I remember seeing it kind of last year at United a little bit with Ronaldo, where players were kind of taking him on and like, oh, you're not as strong as you used to be, or you're not as quick as you used to be, and they're going a little bit harder at him. Do you feel like Salah's starting to get that treatment now?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. He's being figured out a little bit, and also, like I said, with Mane, the standards have dropped. I can't remember what Ellie said. She said something earlier, which I wanted to bring a point to, but I forgot. But yeah, of course, it's affecting him.
But Salah's he's been off for 12 months. It's not just this season. Yeah. Like, he obviously was all anyone talked about at the beginning of last season, and then actually midway through, starting the calendar year last year, I was raging at everyone for saying anything bad against him. So I was like, oh, your memory's so short term. Like, he's just having a little blip. He'll be fine. It's 12 months later, and
well, this is the thing. This is the point I wanted to make. So you talked about the energy that the team brings, right? Liverpool's best attribute was not buying the best technical football players on the planet. We bought high energy workhorses, and Salah was a workhorse. He'd run up and down the wing, and so was Mane. Mane, in my opinion, had a little bit more quality than Salah. He could score a wider variety of goals. He could score headers. He could score all different kinds of goals. And I just feel like Salah hasn't got that. And so if he's not working, that's one of his major attributes dropped already, and that's half his game gone. And the same with the rest of the team. That's why he's not being as effective. And it's just the story of the whole team, really, to be honest with you. We've got players that are 7 out of 10s now because they're no longer pressing, when they used to be 9 out of 10s because they work.
Oh, come on, Blues. They're just leaving gaps in midfield.
We have put a workhorse midfield on today.
Sorry, just going back to Nunez, so I'm just thinking, and I'm really annoyed because I had a stat earlier about what his XG is compared to actually the goals he's scored, and his XG is unbelievable, and it should be, because the chances he's had is crazy, but he's got all these chances and he's creating all these chances and he can't convert.
He's missed.
Why is that?
14 out of 16 big chances he's missed. I can't tell you, right? He's a young lad. Chances. He's 22 years old, and he's coming to a Liverpool team, like I said, that competed for the last 5 years at the top level, and now we're asking him to score 25 goals a season in the Premier League. Not easy to do at all, and I think putting that pressure on him is wise, to be honest with you. Also, I don't think finishing is necessarily his best attribute. He's physical, he's strong, he's fast. That's his best attributes.
But that's what he was known for last season, and that's what got him the big price tag. That's what Virgil van Dijk was even bigging up before the move happened. I almost feel like Liverpool shot themselves in the foot with that move, in my opinion. You played and had success in a system where you didn't really require a 9, and then you got one that I felt like was almost a gamble.
Yeah, it was.
And
took half of his supply away.
He had one great year, and it was like, in my opinion, I think you should have let him stay 2 years, maybe see how we can get on. But it was like, no, let's spend the big money now. We need something to freshen up this squad. And to be fair, it's looking like a gamble, in my opinion, that's not going to pay off. And I said it when he signed it. I said, he looks way too raw, and Liverpool needs something now.
Refined,
I was like, it doesn't make sense. So even profile-wise, it didn't seem like a good fit, aside from the fact that he works hard and Klopp loves a hard-working player. It's not a move that made much sense to me, to be fair, but
do you know why,
we'll see.
Do you know why
Chaos,
he's from as well? It
wasn't just a stat. XG gets him, I feel like, a lot of potentially he could still be a good player. But you have to execute on that XG at some point.
Yeah, you do. But I was confused. Yeah, it is.
Well, please stand up, lads. Please be okay, kid. Can't be
I was confused about that XG though, because you'd think with the way Liverpool are playing at the minute that actually he wouldn't have had those chances. But he has had those chances, and he still can't do anything with it.
He's boss at creating chances. Honestly, that guy is one of the best in the league at creating chances for himself. He is. He just doesn't take.
There's no point in creating chances.
I agree.
You can't do anything
Absolutely
with it.
agree with you. No doubt about it.
It's the lack of composure he has for me.
Doesn't have it, lads, because he's got loads of pressure on him. Like, he's a human being. Oh, it's an alright ball. Unlucky.
I do definitely think the pressure's there as well, because the thing is that everyone's expecting massive things from him, but he's come into a side that is a completely different side to what we saw last season.
Yeah.
So he's now having to. Well, he's getting the pin for everything, isn't he, really?
Yeah. Which isn't fair, really.
It's not fair.
If in reality he scored 9 goals, which is just 3 behind Rashford, who's in the best form of his life, and, you know, it's not really fair. And at Haaland and all this stuff.
If he wants to be a single
we don't say
sportsman.
It's not fair for Haaland, though. For Haaland, we say, he's ruining City, do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't
but
say
when
that,
it's Darwin Nunez, it's like, you know, it's pressure, let's take it easy on him. Nah, we're going to beat him with the same stick.
I mean, he's been beating him. He got beat with a stick before he even touched the ball for Liverpool, Nunez. In reality, right, this is what Liverpool do sometimes. When someone plays well against us in the Champions League or the Premier League or whatever else, we buy that bloody player. I was surprised, genuinely, right, I was surprised that Liverpool didn't buy Trossard because he scored a hat-trick at Anfield this season. I was genuinely surprised that he never come to Liverpool. That's what we do.
Some player though, isn't he? Like
Trossard.
Yeah,
he's great. Unfortunately, he is good. Yes.
you know, from a Liverpool perspective,
Yeah.
obviously we're 16 minutes in. Is this the sort of start you wanted to see from Liverpool, or did you want a bit more composure? Because they're certainly, they've been the better side, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. First 5 minutes was definitely shaky. We've seen Mo Salah with bad touches, Matip nearly gave you the goal, Trent with bad crosses, but it seems like they're growing into it a little bit. And this has been the story of our season anyway. That's why we concede the first goal all the time, because everyone's like, hang on a minute, you scared, lad, yeah? You scared, bro? And then just scoring goals against us. And that's exactly what this game nearly happened at the start as well. Yeah. We just need to get that first goal.
I do think
goal is so important in this one.
If Everton get that first goal, though, you're toast, mate.
I agree. Like I said, if Arsenal, who are playing the most electric football in the league, can't break Everton down, what are they going to do? What are our boys going to do? Probably nout.
Everton will be happy with this.
Gakpo should be burying that kid.
Gakpo from 6 yards out, missing a header. He would have made that bread and butter at the World Cup.
This is killing
me. He's a different player, though, isn't he, to what you saw at the World Cup? Like, do you think he was the sort of player that you were expecting?
No, not at all. I thought we were going to... I don't know why.
Easy.
It was completely out of the blue, innit? Let's see this.
Was it offside?
What's going on here? I can't believe we're missing chances like this.
He's got to bury that, man. What's he, 8 games now?
Yeah.
This will be his 8th game.
And so you put Mane there right now. Put Mane in that position. It's goal in it, mate.
He's eating that up. That's bread and butter for him.
Do you know what Mane was brilliant at as well? Clutch goals. We give Divock Origi all the credit for that, but the amount of clutch goals that Mane would come up with is unbelievable. If Salah would score the fillers, he would score some clutch goals, but it was always Mane. He'd always be there. There was one particular game against Aston Villa, and we were losing 1-0, and on at the 85th minute, Robbo scored 1-1, and then Mane on the 94th minute, it's a corner coming in, and he just runs to it, flicks it, goes past about 10 players, goes bottom corner, wonderful.
He did it twice against Everton. 93rd minute winners. Mana, it was just.
I remember.
I used to hate him playing because he.
Brilliant.
I always, to be fair, I always expected when we were playing Liverpool for you to score in the last minute, always. But I remember that game. We absolutely battered you, but it was 0-0, and then you score in the last minute, and I remember just sitting there like, do you know what? We're never beating these.
Yeah. And you see it right with the national teams as well. Like if you look at Salah's national team, great, and he plays well for them. But who won the AFCON? And why did they win the AFCON? Because Mane come up with clutch goals, lad, and he scored them penalties that he needed to score.
Yeah. There's far too much space down both of our wings.
That's that V shape. You don't need to get back into that V. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you talked about that. You need to put yourself on a side profile and not let anyone past your V. And a side profile is to be able to pivot left, right, whenever you need to.
Mikey, are you excited with Deitch coming in now, though? Because could this potentially be the first time where Everton get a bit of stability and kind of a bit of steadiness for the next year or so? And potentially even we could see like possibly the best version of Deitch, I feel like, because it's going to be Deitch having a little bit of money, let's be honest, because you guys are not short of that. One of the highest spenders in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 5 or 6 years.
Madness.
So with him now getting that kind of bit of free budget, a club that needs a rebuild, and he can do it in his vision, are you kind of happy with the next year or two?
Yeah, I am happy with Deitch because he epitomises Everton. Workman-like, aggressive, tactically, I like to think astute. But the other thing is, he offers the fact that he's been there and done it, so he's not a new manager. He's not fresh to the Premier League. He's not a gamble. Yeah. We know exactly. He's not
a Frank Lampard.
Yeah, we know exactly why are you not passing the ball there?
Yeah.
We know exactly.
Someone should have given the man lads. Hey, that's dangerous.
That is dangerous, that, lads. There's no need for that.
200.
Yeah, Anana, Alisson.
No need for that, lads. Miles away from the ball.
Sorry, heard the pipes on that boy though. Unbelievable singer.
Anana.
Yeah. Unreal.
Fantastic at Everton by the sounds of it.
Man.
So for me, even if Everton went down, he was the right appointment because he's the sort of manager that would get you back up.
Yes.
And then it's about rebuilding. You know, we've seen it with Aston Villa, for example. You know, a team that have got a decent heritage. Unfortunately, they go down, and actually they've rebuilt, and it's now put them in a position where they've attracted a manager that's won, you know, in Europe 3 times, for example. So I think he's the right manager. It would be a blessing if Everton can stay up and he can still stabilise us and we can progress slowly up the league. But even if we go down, I still think he's the right appointment.
Literally. I said about a year ago when
Getting
you know.
excited.
That was insane by Nunez.
know.
Did no one just see that?
saw
That was insane.
Do you know the worst thing is? I don't even think he meant that.
That was insane.
Yeah, let's get a replay on
Look
it.
at this. He's skinning them, lads.
No, he didn't mean that. That came off his shins, man.
I need a replay. I didn't see it.
No
He
tape.
did some like Cruyff turn
That
nutmeg.
was
I was like,
sick,
hold on,
lads.
that was Nunez.
That was a beast, that.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. He's looked good all game. He's been
So
doing
far, like,
Coleman for
it's
fun.
20 minutes in. Have either of us had a shot yet? I mean, we had one that missed Blaze.
Doesn't matter, mate.
But with Dyche, I was saying like a year ago when Lampard was almost in trouble initially, I said Dyche would have been the perfect person to come in. And as you said, I think even if you guys go down, he is the perfect person. He's done it with Burnley before, but then you've seen, as you said, even with Aston Villa, West Ham, I've seen him go down and come back up and rebuild. Newcastle, I've seen him go back down.
Yeah.
I mean, he is
Sometimes
that
big clubs
exact
can go
manager,
down.
though, isn't he? Like,
literally.
he is the sort of person that just,
wow.
you do.
Mick
Rebuild.
Salah here.
Dicey, right? Everton are the most chaotic
Great
football
from
club
Tarkowski.
in the league. Chaotic spending, chaotic
Managers.
hiring. You went from Carlo Ancelotti and James Rodriguez to Sean Dyson, Dwight McNeil, lads. That shows you the type of chaos that's going on.
The fact that the choices were between Bielsa and Dyche tells you how chaotic the hiring process is. It's like those are two polar opposites of the spectrum.
So he's perfect to set us the step.
And to go even further than that, they decide not to sack them when they've got a 7-week break after Bournemouth and a World Cup and then a 4-week January transfer window. They sack him the last week of the January transfer window.
Yeah, I do think that
That's
is a bit ridiculous. I don't understand why I do that. It's like what we did with Tuchel. We let him have a signing window to sign whoever he wants to sign, and then let him go.
We did the same with
luckily
Benitez.
you didn't really make any. It's not like Lampard made any big signings before he left, and then Dyche has to pick it up. It's probably good in that sense that he's working with what he knows already from seeing them play, but still, it just bewilders me. Like, why not bring him in a little bit earlier, get him a couple of signings that he wants, and then go from there. But
instead of going to every single football team in the league and saying, will you come and play for Everton, for them to say, nah, mate. Because that's what happened.
how do you feel that the players and him will like gel? Because I mean, we've already seen that Tarkowski, McNeil, they work well under him. They did it last week. What about Conor Cody? Because obviously, I think he's that sort of player that probably would work really well under Dyche.
To be honest, I feel like the group of players at Everton have got are perfectly suited for him because they're all fairly energetic.
They're all Burnley players.
Why not? They're all players that will put a foot in. None of them are really scared. It's just tactically they've been all over the shop. Whereas Sean Dyche probably fits the bill. Bread and butter.
He's perfect.
Defend. This is how you do it. Just be solid. You know, we could. You know, even if we lost tonight, we've got home games against Leeds and Aston Villa coming up.
Big one.
And I like to think that Everton at home can take 6 points. So all of a sudden, you're probably not in the bottom three anymore. So there is that hope that we can do
Salah on
something.
That
good
was
from
brilliant,
Hendo.
see? No, good for us, good for us.
There's some confidence
Liverpool
in
showing
We
shades
are
of the
playing
old
great,
self.
you know. This has been good. The last 15 minutes, boss. Love it. Keep it going, lads. We'll get a goal if we do this.
But this is where Everton have got to ride this out.
Is Ellis fast, by the way? Is he a fast player?
He's fairly quick, yeah.
Okay.
It's just more because he's strong and
He looks
mobile.
quite built,
How old
lad,
is
does.
he?
22.
22, yeah. So he's not young, but he is still young.
He looks older. No offence.
He does look
to
a bit
him.
old. No, he does.
He
He's
does
got a
look a
full
bit
beard
old.
and that.
Yeah.
62% possession for
We
Liverpool
are playing
so far.
well so far. And just to add to the point that you were talking about with Lampard getting sacked, do you know what? Genuinely, with the situation that was going on with the club, I also think that the fans push these decisions because you've seen it. You've seen Yerry Mina getting out of his car and speaking to furious Everton fans, really like unhappy with the club. I think that really pushed the hand into it as well.
And
I think that mattered.
What was irritating about that is not actually the fact that players were getting out of the cars and the protests.
Oh, well, no.
Oh, nah.
It was it was a case of this football club has been run so badly for so long that fans have just had enough of this board. Like, if Everton had an offer to sell right now, I would beg for it to be sold because the chairman doesn't have a clue, the owner doesn't have a clue, and we can all sit here and say Everton have spent 650 million in 6 years, but look who they've bought. So the people that have been given the money have been
Chelsea spend in
really,
one season.
really bad appointments. So for me, I really hope that Sean Dyche is just the beginning of Everton just getting a grip of where they are and starting again almost. If we haven't invested in January, we didn't spend loads of money in the summer, so hopefully this means Sean Dyche will be given, if we stay up, a bit of a kitty in the summer to say, right, this is what I need. I haven't had this much money before. I've been fairly shrewd in recruitment before. Stephen Delfour, he bought in Cornet. He knows good players at relatively low value. Brownhill. So all I want to see is him have a good summer transfer window, build the team in whatever style he likes for the next 2.5 years. And if that is Burnley 2.0, I don't care, as long as Everton stay in the league and start winning football matches.
I was going to say, but there's no point, the whole just staying in the league thing. You saw it last season, you were literally hung on by a thread. Surely you don't want that as a heart attack, isn't it?
Is there not a sense of, though, where, as he said, getting a grips of your realisation of where you are now? Everton used to be, I feel like, that club, almost the buffer zone between the big six and the rest of the Premier League. It was if a player is playing well for, I don't know, Aston Villa, Everton's the next step before you go Chelsea.
That was a fantastic finish.
Oh my God, I was like, yo, if that is given. But now it's over the last couple of years, as you said, it's been so mismanaged. They've really just had to accept, no, we're not that Europa League team anymore. We're actually a relegation side, and we need to get to grips. That's why it's bring Dyche in, get back to basics, and almost reset.
And the frustration is, obviously, if you go back further, if you go back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Everton were consistently finishing 5th. Consistently, we played in Europe. David Moyes,
Leon Osman days.
We had Arteta, Peanut. We had a strong team.
Gravison,
we had Kubo up front. We had a really, really, really good side. And it is so scary to see the decline from even a team that would finish 5th. And that's no disrespect to clubs like Spurs. You almost went down. I remember David Pleat managing you guys. No, because it happened.
Forget them days.
Newcastle were a Champions League side. Then they declined. This was before Chelsea had that big money, or they were just there. The world has changed so much so quickly, but it almost has been made worse by the fact that Everton have had this history and maybe are perceived as the club that used to be the better of the rest, both when we were finishing 5th and 6th and also when we were finished 7th outside the top 6. It all fell apart. It's all gone backwards. So there's a lot of fans that simply want Everton, like I wanted this season, just finish 15th. Finish 15th.
If you
progress next season.
As an Everton fan, if you had to say when was the beginning of the rot, would you say?
As soon
Martinez, Koeman?
No, as soon as Farhad Mashiri bought our football team.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No, because when he done that, he got Carlo Ancelotti in, didn't he? He got James Rodriguez, and you were top of the league for 5 weeks.
Yeah, but that was 4 years later. He'd owned the club for 4 years at that point. This was the same season that Everton finished in an FA Cup final, and then we sold players like Lukaku, and we bought in players like David Klassen, bought in Ronald Koeman.
What was that, 2014-15?
2016. 2016-17 was the start. We sold all of our players that had pace and replaced them with
Rooney,
17
Klassen,
number 10s, Sigurdsson.
I remember that.
We'd bring in Michael Keane, Jordan Pickford. I remember sitting there at the time going, we've literally bought players who were the big fish in their smaller teams, and we're hoping they're going to be big fish in a team that wants to be a big fish. It was a ridiculous recruitment move.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. The recruitment is so important, and you see that as well with Newcastle. Because I feel like, obviously, we saw Newcastle do it last season. They bought an Eddie Howe, and he just did wonders with them. And it's not because he bought, massive players or big name players. He bought players that he knew would fit well together in a team, and I feel like Dyche could be a similar manager to that, where he brings in,
What he said about Moisey earlier, you need to get back to what you know, okay? And what you know is building a foundation, and once you've got that foundation solid one, we finish 6th, 7th, 8th every season.
Another thing
build from that.
Another thing that people forget is Sean Dyche managed to take this Burnley team into Europe twice. They
forget.
He did do that, didn't he?
So they forget. I'm telling you.
We can all sit here and any Everton fan would sit here.
There's a pub named after him, Royal Dyche, because he got them into Europe.
And rightly so.
Actually, the owner of that pub said, if Dyche gets us into Europe, I will rename this pub the Royal Dyche.
The Dyche.
Did it?
So all Everton need, in my opinion, is to stabilise. We've got a new stadium. All of a sudden, we look more attractive to investors, and we have to kick on. So when the stadium comes, which is 18 months, we have to kick on. So at the minute, and I remember Tobes, obviously you'll know, Tottenham fan, you know, good lad. He used to call you guys Stadium FC. Well, that's exactly what Everton have got to be almost for 18 months. We've got to use it as a positive and then invest in it in the future, and we've got to restart.
Do you think it's going to be a positive, this new stadium, do you?
Yeah, I do. I feel like the fact that it's been sort of designed with the closeness of Goodison. It's a bit bigger, so
is there not a fear of, though, having seen what we Spurs fans have gone through, where you kind of have to budget cut back? West Ham, we saw there's an initial adapting period for maybe the first 18 months. People are like, is this really home? It's not really ours. It all feels a bit new. Arsenal as well, similar thing went through. So it's almost like every level of club you are, as soon as you make that stadium move, financially, atmosphere, takes a little... Especially going through this kind of transition period with Deitch now, are you hoping by then you will have kind of fully got that transition period through? Because if not, it could be you're going through two types of transition.
I mean, you're talking another season and a half, though, aren't we, really?
And then it's a brand new season.
But let's say they get relegated this season now, and then next season is the promotion year.
You're right.
It could be crazy. So
it could be, but this is why it's absolutely imperative Everton don't go down.
Yeah.
You know, if Everton go down with the stadium on their back fundamentally, it could be horrendous. Like, it could be financial oblivion for Everton. So,
God. It happens to clubs. Leeds, you've seen it with Leeds, lad.
We've seen it with Leeds. We've seen it with other clubs. Aston Villa was a week away from going into administration in the Championship literally 4 years ago. Yeah. So Everton, they've got to be clever. They've got to be shrewd. They've got to make sure they're not wasting loads of money. There is financial backers. There's talks going on with a group called MSP that are going to be buying about 30% of Everton, which essentially will fund a good chunk of the stadium. So that's almost off the back. There's Premier League clubs get lots of naming rights and lots of money for these naming rights. So
would you want it to be called
to be honest,
Spotify Stadium or something?
To be honest,
what you want for Everton Football Club?
It's not, but to be honest,
if it brings the money and helps your club improve.
You've already got the money, lad, and you've spent it awfully. That's the problem. Is not the money. You just need to bring it back to basics and play the football that you know, so that the fans have something to cheer for.
But that's going to happen anyway.
With Daishi, I agree.
That's going to happen anyway.
So I think just look at his training with them. He's literally taking it back to bleep test.
Yes.
Did you see that three of the players were genuinely sick? Like, they were genuinely sick.
Who?
But that just shows how unfit they are. Surely.
It was. I think it was McNeil.
That's not he's pushing them too hard. They shouldn't be being sick. They're professional athletes.
I agree.
Yeah. Those are players that should be used to his.
I love that.
They probably seen them and thought, you are nowhere near up to your fitness, like up to scratch in terms of that I knew you at. So let's get back to bleep basics. Do the bleep test. No wearing your snoods outside.
No gloves, no gloves.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it is literally, that is taking it back to basics, like to a T, isn't it?
But you respect that, don't you?
Yeah,
you
we all
respect
that. As much as
and look, I hope he does. Obviously, I hope he does well, but Everton, all jokes aside, is probably the biggest club he's managed. I hope he does well. I hope he can reaffirm that actually
he deserves that.
He isn't this long ball manager and this isn't this poor tactician. Actually, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got the right players in the right positions. I hope he is more like, Eddie Howe was linked with Everton, and us as Everton fans were going, now we don't want him. That was our perspective of our football team, and now look, Eddie Howe's currently sitting in fourth, and Everton are going to get relegated. So for me, Sean Dyche, it's an opportunity as much as it is for the fans, as much as it is for the club, as much as it is for the players. It's for him, and I think he'll take it by the scruff of the neck and he'll deliver.
I've said I hope he turns Jula into almost like the Premier League bully boys.
He will.
He will.
Over the last, but if you look at it this season, we've lost the Burnleys, we've lost the Stokes. The Newcastle is maybe the only kind of stiff and rigid team you would say is still out there. But I feel like once you lose that, those
Jesus Christ,
that's a rough tackle there. But once you lose those types of teams, I mean, there's no real intimidation factor. I hope he kind of brings it back to, all right, we're going to be Daichi's dogs. Let's go out there.
I think he will. I genuinely think he will. But do you know, as well, when Eddie Howe came in, Newcastle obviously went through that big change, everyone was saying, "Oh, do you reckon they'll stay up now? Do you reckon they'll stay up?" They didn't only just stay up; they finished mid-table. And I said in a podcast,
"Oh, shit!
Go on again!
Oh my god!"
Oh, Doyle, head in hand.
Oh my god, we said Everton set pieces.
He's on the counter.
Strong Blues.
Don't lose this ball now. We've got to score from this.
Oh my god!
No!
It's the first one. Yes!
Oh my god!
Get in!
What the fuck?
That is what you
End to end.
end-to-end action.
That is outrageous.
I'm sweating.
Mo Salah,
Hey.
1-0.
Feel my head, Fuad. Oh,
Ding, 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 ding. Tarkowski cannot
You
believe it.
Fucking
That is
shit.
unreal.
I feel
How
that
do you
that's
go
awful. I'm so sorry, Mike, lad. I'm sorry, lads. You hit the post and then we score from it. But do you know how many times Mo Salah's done that for Liverpool off an opposition
But look-
corner?
look-
So many times.
Look at the number of bodies that
Yeah.
break.
All
1, 2,
Nunez.
3, 4, 5. That's 5v5. Catch us if you can, they
Look
said.
at Nunez. That's all Nunez.
Wow.
Can we all just agree that was fantastic by Nunez? That
Where's-
carried the ball up the pitch,
Well done, mate.
delivered
Well
it with
done,
his weak foot, got an assist, boss.
That is...
Where's
What's
Pickford
Pickford
going?
doing?
And you actually said, do not mess that final ball
No,
up.
yeah. Pickford, that's
Right foot from Salah as well. Pickford caught
I think just
no
that
man's
was
land.
also poor from Pickford.
Yeah, it was. That
don't
was
know where he's
where's it
going.
there? Sorry to scream in your face there, Mikey lad, but I had to because it's the first
No,
goal.
because
I've seen us
I
score.
did the
Go on,
fucking
Klopp.
same.
He's ecstatic.
Yes,
There we
and
go.
the reason why right now, because
We've not seen that club, have we, in a while?
Oh, mate. I feel like a massive sense of relief right now. I haven't seen a score since Wolves, and even then we got kicked out of the FA Cup the next week by Matoma, lad. So please don't lose this game. Can I go home happy for once? Am I not even going to watch match of the day tonight 'cause it's not on there?
Oh, by Chetic. Down with an injury here.
It's a hard
I
name to
can't
say.
believe that. You see, but this is what I mean.
That is
Everton
nuts.
go to Anfield, they get chances, they hit the post, and then Liverpool score within 15 seconds. It's Anfield.
With the set pieces, that's probably going to be your best bet, kind of. And then boom, you get one, hit the post.
Yeah,
It was
but,
like what
yeah,
it-
but Klopp's done that. Klopp's done that. He said to his players, he said, right, all of the quick ones just stay on that last 18-yard line.
Yeah.
So when we get that header out, you're literally 5v3 and you're all running up the pitch at the same time. There's absolutely no way that is just random. That has been choreographed
Absolutely.
by a manager that knows what he's doing against Sean Dyche because he won't want to lose again to
I think he is as well. He knows that Dyche gets his players up there, congests the area, and they like to think that then they'll be able to sort of be on those players. But if the players are quicker than them,
And now
it's
what-
a case
and
of
now
getting
watch
back,
this now.
and
You're
they
gonna-
can't get back quick
I
enough.
mean,
They didn't
Nunez-
get back quick enough.
Honestly, Ellie, Nunez is one of the quickest players I've ever seen play for Liverpool. He's rapid like.
You're going to see the old Salah now.
Yes, that's what
Yeah,
I want
what's
to
that word?
and that lad, yeah. Oh,
That
I haven't seen it.
looking like it's bad. What's all this?
I'm so hot.
I'm seeing Salah doing stud rolls. What's going on here, bruv?
Lovely. Oh,
That was a
great.
poor ball from Trent. That.
Great. It's the first goal I've seen us score in a while, lad, that I've genuinely, I'm happy with that one. Very happy.
You can see already. Look at Salah. He's already the energy has lifted.
It's different.
Hey, Decore, I need you to do something.
Move, Iwobi. Move.
Yeah, why am I supporting Everton as well? Like
Go on.
in my head, I'm like, I was
It's
really
the
upset
underdogs.
when
It's the
Liverpool just
underdogs,
scored.
right? Listen,
there.
I'm a
It's all
neutral
right.
here. I'm the host.
When
so,
Everton play Tottenham and Chelsea,
Huh?
see us then, okay?
Listen, big up
I'll sit in
Anthony.
this seat.
Big up Anthony sending a super chat as well. He says, champions grind out results. Oh, wait. Lee Mason. Obviously referring
We've actually
to
got Everton
It's
soon.
the VAR debacle with Arsenal.
I mean, they had some poor decisions over the weekends, weren't they? Really poor ones. One for Chelsea, actually, as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
One for Brighton,
just Brighton.
Arsenal.
He literally he saved the goal.
Yeah, he did. He
I
jumped
think-
on it,
I think-
put his arm out and went, hey. Oh, okay, yeah.
John Brooks, who's actually meant to be on VAR tonight, has actually been taken off this game
Maybe
and
so.
the Wednesday night game at Arsenal and Man City as well. Andre Mariner and David Coote will now control the monitors.
And that was after the Brighton game. What? Tell me what happened in that game. I didn't.
So, I don't want to butcher his name.
Estupinian.
He scored a lovely goal, yeah. And there was a player behind the player that they put the line on, so we put him offside. But actually, there was one there that he was completely in front of, no problem. And it was similar to...
Well, they just didn't see...
You put the line on
the wrong player. That's negligence. That's not like... That's not like we can't see it. Like, that's negligence. That's you sitting there probably having a cup of tea and going, oh, crap, I've got to make a decision dead quick. Just throw the line there, dead quick, lads. That's a terrible decision. And I think... referees do need to be punished for decisions like this. They're costing people 3 points, which eventually costs managers jobs and players jobs because they're not getting the results that they need. So why shouldn't their job be questioned as well?
Do you want to know something scary about like VAR? And do you know Everton haven't been gifted a penalty in 2 years?
What?
And we haven't had
Seriously?
And we and straight up we haven't had a red card given for our opposition to Everton in over 3 years.
Wow.
Wow.
So a player opposite to Everton have not been sent off since Kieran Gibbs for West Brom in 2020.
That's scary. That
is.
So honestly, like when VAR happens, when decisions come and you think, oh yeah, will that go in our favour? I literally sit here and go, we ain't
chance.
That. Yeah, we ain't getting that.
How did we score this?
That's outrageous.
But look at the players. Look.
Count that. That is 1, 2,
they're all activated.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Beautiful.
10 seconds that took from end to end.
I've seen it so many times from Salah, that exact goal. I'm not joking.
I ain't even seen FIFA counter-attacks happen that quickly.
He does it so many times. He's done that. He done it against Arsenal a few seasons ago. He does it against so many different teams, lad. That's a thing of his. And it's definitely a tactic that Klopp uses. But you've got rapid players like that, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
That's the whole point. Why would they have the pace, like their pace on their FIFA card if you're not going
to... Exactly.
There's not a point in it.
And also, I think the fact that they did hit the post helped us a little bit, because it sucked all your players back in. You're like, we're going to score.
You could see that, though. Their focus was on going again. Even the defence, it's like, get out of there. You can see that they're going to get the momentum to come back in. They're also, when you get that second chance like that, the players, the opposition are then so switched on to be like, shit, that can't happen again. And let's get back in there and go on the counter attack.
But that is the
Everton
one thing.
Should have got back straight away.
That is the one thing about Everton, isn't it? Like we can all say they're playing a low block and defensively they're difficult to beat. But if you go in behind, there's no pace. There's no pace defensively.
I agree.
Coleman's legs have gone. Mikalenko's too slow, and the two centre halves ain't quick, are they? So when you're getting chances like that, Everton are finished.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing to see, but it is clearly obvious that it could happen in this game against players like Nunez and Salah, who have got pace. And now other teams will watch that and they'll go, right, okay. So that's
how you beat Everton.
That's what we need to do.
But that's why he plays a low block, because he's always had older, slower players anyway, and he plays basic football. I said it before. He plays the basic football, but at its best. He really does. That's why I don't think, in reality, I don't think Dicey will take you to Champions League and all this type of stuff, but I do think he'll build a solid foundation for you. That's what he's all about. He's just like Mr. Moisey. You'll keep him for 5 years or something. He'll get the most out of his players. He won't have to spend bags of money to get the most out of it, and you'll still finish in solid places. That's what Dicey is. He will do that for you. You will not go down a season, and you will build from this without a shadow of a doubt.
Keep that positivity.
I just hope, what I hope for Dicey is the money that he does get to spend. He's never been in that position really, so I hope he spends it well, so that he doesn't tarnish his name a little
bit. I hope he is spending the money, to be honest, because a big thing with Everton is, the owner has signed players, the directors of football have signed players. There's not been much consultancy with the manager, so let's hope that Sean Dyche, if he's got a specific style of play, let's hope he signs the players that fit that specific style of play.
Yeah.
Because
I always wonder though with that, because I think I heard actually Potter say something about this, is that you can't sign a player without them having spoken to the head coach, the manager. So even if it's in the smallest amount, they must have an input in that decision. Dyche's got to speak to. You can't just sign any random player and then go, oh, like, what's going on with the team? Yeah, don't worry, I won't speak to the head coach before signing an 8-year deal if you're going to Chelsea.
I'll give you two prime examples at Everton why that doesn't happen. So Anwar El Ghazi last season was signed from Aston Villa on loan. So Luca Dean could go the other way because of the wage bill, and he played 3 minutes of football at Goodison Park. Now, if you wanted this player in your team, you would play him. Yeah. And the other one is Ruben Vinagre, who plays for Everton this season, he's probably made one appearance in a Carabao Cup game. I can't see how they're players that the manager wanted, because surely if there was, you would at least play them or try them or give them a chance. We don't see that.
We don't, but we also don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And that you know that manager might have had a conversation, seen that player play in a different team, but actually when it gets back to, you know, the training pitch, it might just not come together. And unfortunately, you've already spent 100 million on them.
Yeah, £100 million on Michael Keane up the toffees.
Chaotic,
the last
the most chaotic madness.
First half now.
Mikey, if you could sign a few players, top 3, who are you signing, or where are you signing players in?
I'll go with. I mean, it depends. So it depends if they're signed for Everton, to be honest. So I'd go and sign Mitrovic from Fulham.
I can't see him.
6 and 7.
I can't see him moving to Everton. But if you could,
so it would be someone like Mitrovic from Fulham. I think there's goals there.
Yeah, suits your style.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would fit with the team.
Yeah, I think again stupidly, a former Everton player, Ademola Lookman.
He's playing amazingly in the
17
Bundesliga.
goals in Serie A this season.
I mean, why? I mean, this is again why Everton managers signed him. He watch him score on his debut in a 4-0 win against Man City, and then don't play the only player that's got pace. That's another goal.
Oh my God, Darwin Nunez!
Oh,
is that handball?
Is it? Is it handball?
They're calling for it.
Liverpool showing they're a threat from set pieces themselves.
We scored a lot. We've scored the second most set pieces in the league. Liverpool.
Got Trent whipping him in.
Wait, what's happening here?
I think it might be a penalty.
And then the left back.
Half time. Half time, and it's 1-0 Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. Boys, what do we think so far?
I think Liverpool, this is one of our best performances so far. The first 5 minutes, shaky, but after that we've brought energy, we've been pressing, we've been tackling, we're aggressive, we want the ball. I love the midfield is actually playing well. Onana's having a good game still, but that Bajitic, Fabinho's doing all right, Henderson, workhorses, I like it. I like what I'm seeing as energy, and it's giving me it, and I'm sweating, and I'm hot, and I love it. It's great, lads. Wonderful.
Got 60% possession, 63% possession in that first half there. Pretty much dominated it.
Nunez, mate, he's been our best player at the first half, without a doubt.
I was going to say, a few of your players there have been kind of actually playing up to their level, you almost feel like, in that first half. Salah as well, I would say. Trent. Henderson's even looked decent, I thought, in that first half. But sorry, you were going to say.
How well is now Nunez playing on the left?
Nunez
That's
as
what
well.
I said.
Incredible.
On the left, though, not in the middle. Yeah. On the left. He doesn't get as many chances, but he creates them. That's the point.
And this is the small difference, though.
We've just seen that, literally point proven.
Yeah. When you create those chances and you don't execute that final ball, and when you do, because he doesn't deliver that now. Now it's like, all this chaos for what?
Yeah.
But the fact that you managed to deliver that ball perfectly as well. Salah right foot, and to be fair, I think give Klopp some credit as well, because that trigger to say, listen, this is a team that's pretty slow on the counter. As soon as we get that, poof, let's get on our horses.
Especially when Nunez has got the ball at his feet, lads.
Yeah, he's working with what he's got, hasn't he? There, like, as you said, like, that is a manager that knows what he's doing. He's gone, look, I've got some pretty quick players. Like, that counter is really important.
Frustrated on your end?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's nothing I wouldn't normally expect. So, you know, you sit here and you're like, you know, Everton have had a chance. They also had one at the start of the game as well. So there's been a couple of chances at Anfield. But the facts are, the one position I thought that Everton would probably dominate, midfield, we're actually being dominated. And then Nunez against Coleman is a no match. Like, he is destroying Coleman. Salah has found some form and is absolutely doing in Mikalenko and O'Neill. So you're seeing Liverpool have just better quality players doing a better job at keeping the ball, looking more dangerous, threading more passes. I would guess that Everton haven't even completed half the amount of passes that Liverpool have, because they're just not keeping the ball well enough. You're
actually right. 144 for Everton, Liverpool 360.
There you go. So you're talking about an Everton side that is not playing very well, and I don't think Sean Dyche will be particularly happy with that. Ellie Sims, just on a side note, as a young lad starting his first game in the Premier League, I actually think he's looked all right. He's won a few headers, he's been combative, but the problem is when he's winning a header, no one's playing off him. So I think in the second half, because Everton need points, I would rather see Everton go forward, attack more. If they concede 3-0, sounds stupid, go and lose 3-0, because our games are, Leeds and Aston Villa, not Liverpool away.
No, you're completely right, and we're in the business end of the business part of the season at the minute. The points is what matters, and you now are going into the second half with nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probably what Dyche is going to say to them at half time, isn't it? Like, what do you think he will say to them? Is it a case of, as you've just said, moving forward, or has he got, just going back to basics?
I suspect Dyche is probably the opposite to me, and he's probably more like, right, let's be more robust in midfield, guys, and then from corners, make sure you're aggressive again. I think you'll see Cody and Tarkowski even more. You'll probably see more pressure put around the goalkeeper, and you'll probably see somebody like Demarai Gray come on and use his pace down the wing. In my mind, I think from an Everton perspective, we need, if it's going to be corners, it's got to be corners. Because it looks like that's the only way Everton could score. I mean, we have it in the post. So we've got to start putting the ball into the box.
Would you maybe make any half-time changes? Maybe bring a Demarai Gray on just to...
probably,
as you said, with Sims, he's winning a few of the battles. I remember last time you lot played Arsenal, similar thing. First 10-20 minutes, Calvert-Lewin very isolated.
Yeah,
and as soon as you got kind of Demarai Gray who will be around him, it was just like two
I mean, based on the fact that our wingers are getting, our fullbacks are getting terrorised, I don't know if I'd want to touch Iwobi or McNeil, because at least they do try and trap back. Demarai Gray won't. So I actually would be tempted to drop on as centre midfielders, because we're not winning the battle with three. So...
But that's the thing, though. With Iwobi this season, he's been able to slot into that 8. Maybe take one of them out. Push Iwobi into the midfield.
I would be I'd be tempted to. I'd be tempted to leave Iwobi out wide. I'd be tempted to leave McNeil out wide. But I would be tempted to probably take out Decore and bring in Demarai Gray, because Onana's got that legs, that powerhouse. You just want someone that's going to keep hold of the ball, and Demarai Gray, weirdly, because he doesn't pass too much, does do that. He keeps the ball.
I think that's it. 'Cause I don't think in terms of your passes, I don't know the exact stats are gone, but passes, you've not had too many less than
144.
No, sorry. You've had lots of passes, but in terms of like touches, you've had an okay amount of touches. But I just don't think you're like keeping possession. You're not doing much with it when you've got it. You're just kind of passing it off. They're clearly then intercepting it and doing something else.
And that's what we expected. That's what Liverpool fans knew they expected. They knew. I mean, Doyle said, I don't know where Everton's goal comes from if it's not a set piece.
Yeah.
So the touch is in the box. If it's not from a corner, we're not scoring from it. Whereas at least if you've got that little bit of pace that can break the line between midfield and defence, at least you've got another type of threat. Demarai Gray can score goals. We saw him score a screamer against...
City.
Was it City?
Arsenal.
Yeah, we saw him score screamers where he cuts in from his right foot, and he's so. If Everton have got to resort to being a little bit more loose in the middle of the park, keeping their wingers on so they defend and support left and right back, but we've got an outlet into Demarai Gray who we can play the ball into, and he can run through the channel, and Ellie Sims can run into the box and score tap-ins. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah. With our goal there, we're playing it like a Sean Dyche team. It's like peeling back this reinforced sheet that when you let go, that's got to snap right back there.
Yeah.
So we have to take our chances on the counter attack, and that's exactly what we did with that goal. We peeled it back for a little quick moment and went quick, shoot lads, shoot.
Yeah.
And it went in, and we're like, yes.
Is this now second half? Do you want to see more go for 2-3 or just kind of ride it out?
I think game management is definitely important. You can't always go gung ho. But at the same time, just what he's off the back of what he's just been saying to echo it, if we still go at it, I still don't see the goal threat from them getting in behind us. Like, who've they got to get in, unless they do bring Demarai Gray on. They bring Demarai Gray on, change the plan a little bit, play a lower line, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't see why we shouldn't keep this performance going. It's the best performance I've seen from us in months, mate. Months. Not since the Champions League against Ajax. So,
listen.
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
And this is what this game has. This is what this game has that I would argue not many, if any, other Premier League game has, is that whatever team gets a result in this game, it changes their season. Like, it changes their season. I remember when Liverpool were on for the league, they come to Goodison Park and it was 1-1 or 0-0, and they didn't win the league. It changes the season. If Everton get a point here, which, I mean, there's only a goal in it, you would look at that and go 4 points. Everton go into Leeds and Villa. If Everton lose, I'd really hope the players don't look at it and go, "Oh, we've just been beaten." You've just gone to Anfield.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. For Liverpool, though, this is an opportunity for them to kick on. You know, I was listening in the car, and there's still a lot of Liverpool fans that haven't wrote off the top four. Now, for me, I think it's miles away, but for Liverpool fans, they still believe they can get there. So getting a result like this against your local rivals,
Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You need the fans to feed into the players, and only these games can kickstart seasons, because you need that energy, and you can only get that from performances. And we haven't had any performances in the last month because we've had nothing to get up for, to fight against, because the players have done it all, won it all, been there. So this is the game where you always want to do it against Man United, City, the Tottenhams. You don't want to lose against these clubs, and so this can kickstart the season. It really, really can. Get the fans back buying onto the performances and kicking our performances on.
Now listen, make sure you're liking the stream as we go along as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Listen, we got a half-time game actually.
We have got a half-time game.
We've got
a half-time game, but we need both players, I think, to be here. Actually, to be fair, Mikey's just gone off, but I think basically
I'll take
we've got a half-time game. One of them is, I'm going to give Fuad a list of players, and he's going to basically reel them off to you, but he can't say the player's name, okay? So you're getting involved, right?
He knows ball.
Do you get it? Do you get it?
We can do that.
Right. So I'll give you a list. Okay. You're gonna have 30 seconds with Doyle doing one list, and then 30 seconds with Mikey doing another. I'll time you. All right.
I can do that.
So your first list.
One big brain energy, lads. Come on.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Right, guys. If you can get these quicker than Doyle.
No.
I'm watching the chat here actually. If someone gets
Google, I haven't got Google. What are you talking about?
Listen, if they're Googling that quick, that's too quick, but go on.
Yeah, that is too quick. Right. Alright, let me get my timer. Hold on.
Okay.
And I think we need some sort of forfeit. Producer Jason said if whoever loses has to wear the other one's football top.
Absolutely not. No.
No? You're not feeling that?
I am not putting that on my chest.
Alright, well, we'll have a think about what else you do. But you have got 30 seconds, Doyle.
Okay.
Okay, to get as many as possible from the list.
Clever. Right. Articulation, lad.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you
Time
ready for it?
starts.
Yeah.
Now.
Egyptian king.
Salah.
England's captain.
Hendo.
We are too tired at the World Cup. Who was saying they're too tired? Their country's too tired. We're too old.
No. Netherlands. No.
No. The neighbours.
Oh, Croatia.
No. The other neighbours. The other way. Come on, man.
Doyle, come on.
Let me talk.
You can say more.
Let me talk.
Say more.
Let me talk.
Say
Belgium.
Let me talk.
Belgium. De Bruyne.
Yes. The robot.
Crouch.
Time.
Mate.
That was on a no.
Stop on De Bruyne. Let me talk.
To be fair, Fuad, you're being harsh, because I would have easily said you can say like City midfielder or something like that.
See, I didn't want to make it too easy.
Okay, but I actually like the way you've done it.
How many did you get?
So you got 3.
No, but Crouch was on the beep, wasn't it? That was on the beep.
No, the last one.
Can we have VAR?
Crouch wasn't on it.
The last
Crouch
one
wasn't on it.
The last one
He's on the
Crouch,
list.
so you're
You
wrong.
said the robot?
It was
Yeah, the
obviously
robot.
the machine,
robot.
Haaland.
The Terminator. I even gave you the point in
I see that.
I'm gonna be awful at
Right,
this.
Mikey, are you ready?
No.
Have you got a new list? Yeah. Right.
I like this game though.
Oh, you're gonna go there? Okay, right.
gonna
Yeah,
do
because
what
it's
you
not
as
like
well.
I thought you were gonna get through all of them. To be honest.
Are we gonna? Oh, of course today, you know.
Right, 30 seconds, Mikey. Are you ready? You've got 3 to beat. It should be pretty easy. And go.
Ali G's brother.
What?
Come on.
Dele
The guy
Alli.
played Ali G. He's got another film. Starts with a B. Portuguese. United.
Bruno Fernandes.
Well done. Gives out meals.
Rashford. Ronaldo.
South Korean superstar.
Young-Min Son.
This one.
4 seconds.
Man City's tanned midfielder.
Foden.
No. Spanish.
Man said
What?
2.
Spanish.
Time.
Done.
Dunno.
Finito. I lost.
However, I think you did.
He beat you. Actually got
Yeah.
4.
Do you know what? Right.
He got 4
Right, guys,
clean
so
ones.
actually we're 1-0 up at the minute, but I say we're 1-all at the moment going into the second half.
Well, Dicey wouldn't. Okay.
There you go. Hey, listen,
And
fair
I
play.
lost the
Fair
game.
play.
Do you know what? We done a shoot on Saturday, yeah, and I played with Alex Gilly, one of the presenters in here,
Yeah.
and I lost every single game as well. And I'm a bad loser. I'm not a good loser. I'm sorry.
No, Doyle, you're
be fair,
not a good loser.
Some of Alex's penalties were pretty sick. Top bins, right corner.
Yeah. Did you watch
Listen,
that
Alex
video?
has got some tech.
Did you watch that video? Did you?
I watched some of it.
Did you watch me lose?
I might have, but it
You're
doesn't
a
matter.
cheat. You're a cheat.
I didn't bring it up.
You're a cheat, lad.
Right, and also, obviously, we've got a big day tomorrow. Has anyone got any plans for the old 14th of Feb?
I'm going to spend it with me lovely, lovely best mate, the football. I'm going to be on the pitch with my other best mates, just chilling.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuad,
So-
any Valentine's Day plans?
Yeah, love of my life is 7:30. 8 o'clock. I think we got an appointment.
Is it PSG v...
No, at the San Siro, Milan
Oh,
versus Spurs.
yeah, on
Champions League, we back, baby! Woo! My one true love.
Fair enough.
It's probably going to be a
It'll be
suffering
bit
pain
sour
session.
if it goes downhill though, won't it? Do you know what? I had the worst Valentine's Day. I once broke up with someone on Valentine's Day.
Listen.
It's cursed.
Blend.
It's
All
cursed.
about that.
Mikey, what are you saying for Valentine's Day?
My little boy has got his little girlfriend from school coming round, so we're looking after him. He's 10, and so it's like he's
Oh my God, it's like you're
you're
having a love life for nursery.
I'm just making sure that they have a nice dinner,
I like
and then
that.
they're chilling it. What about you?
My mum actually texted me the other day going, "What's your favourite meal?" And I was like, "Oh, that's random, nice. Like why are you asking?"
Yeah.
She went, "You don't have plans on the 14th day." I was like, "Suss me out anymore. I feel so seen. No, I'm free.
Thanks, Mum.
We can have dinner."
Dinner at mum's.
The question is,
Let's
what's
go.
the favourite meal?
Yeah, what is the dinner, actually?
Lasagna.
No, it's not actually. My mum cooks a mean chili con carne,
Okay.
followed by a little tiramisu, which has become I was never into tiramisu before, but
love
yeah, it's
tiramisu.
well out
Good
there now.
choice.
You can't go
Yeah,
wrong with
it's
tiramisu, bro.
But I do actually have a couple of Valentine's Day questions as we kick off into the second half.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'll give you a couple each. Right. Which Liverpool striker was born on Valentine's Day in 1951? I've got a few options for you if you have no clue.
Oh, multiple choice. I like that.
Multiple
I like
choice,
that.
yeah?
Let's go there because 1951 I ain't gonna. Oh, can I take a wild stab in the dark?
You
Ian
can.
Rush.
No.
1951.
What? He would have been.
Bro.
They would have been born.
Yeah, he would have been 40 in the 80s and 90s. We're gone. Yeah.
All right.
Multiple choice.
We've got Kevin Keegan, Kenny Dalglish, David Fairclough.
David Fairclough. I'm just
Dalglish.
going to lose everything.
Kevin
I don't
Keegan, man, he's a lover, man. I can tell it.
Kevin Keegan.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen
Like
the
that,
hair
like
on the
that.
chest. That's a man with a rug.
It is, yeah. I was about to
Right.
guess that, lad.
Two sort of off the bat questions, and we're going for red cards because obviously red Valentine's Day, very fitting. Which team, Liverpool or Everton, who has picked up more red cards in the Premier League?
Everton.
Everton.
Do you know how many?
It's 127.
Ooh, not far off.
141.
No, I thought you were going to say it then. 104 compared to Liverpool's.
So did I win that one?
No.
I got the point for that one. I was closer.
No, that's a draw. Right, Liverpool. How many red cards have you had?
None, because we're a perfect team.
96.
No. Should I tell you?
No, we've had 73.
100.
61.
So
Everton have
We're
actually
low,
had
lads.
Everton's
Everyone
had the
loves us.
most in the Premier League, I believe. So, quick question in terms of who within Everton's team previously picked up the most red cards. Give you multiple choice.
former Everton player?
Which former Everton player? Yeah.
Richard Dunn.
Thomas Gravison.
No. Should I give you multiple choice? Because
Duncan
none of you.
Ferguson.
Go on then.
Duncan Ferguson, of
Oh,
course it is.
Duncan Ferguson.
Boom.
By quite a fair
I should have
amount.
listened to the question.
Of course
to
it
be
is.
Yeah.
He was.
No, I should have listened to the question
Absolute
because
nut job.
Richard Dunn's own goals in it. I felt
Yeah.
stupidness.
And a really wholesome one to finish it off. It's another Liverpool one. Who previously said this about Jurgen Klopp? We all love him like a father, and we fear him like one too.
Lallana.
No,
Definitely Jordan Henderson.
no,
Steven Gerrard.
no. We've spoken about him a lot today. Steven Gerrard, he didn't say
Salah.
Mane.
Mane.
Yeah.
Yeah. How wholesome is that?
Yo,
Did
I like Mane, man.
Gerrard never play under Klopp?
No.
Brandon, lad.
Oh, do you know what? I thought he retired
Actually,
in
I
the
got
first
one.
season under Klopp.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, wow.
I think a
Which-
few years before, no?
Which Man United player made his debut on February the 14th?
Ooh.
But his name is also associated with February the 14th. And if you can tell me the name of the player, well done.
Is his name Valentine at the end?
Valentine,
Yeah, I can't tell you. You got to tell me.
Valentino or something.
Is it Sutton Love?
It's a Man United player.
Sutton
In
Love.
the last 6 or 7 years, he made his debut. Louis van Gaal. I've given you a big clue there.
What?
It was during that Tyler Blackett, Borthwick Jackson, during when all those guys were getting their debuts.
Oh, go on.
Look, you've got a few comments guessing.
Valencia, Giggs, no.
Absolutely not.
Donald Love.
Oh!
Yeah!
2-0! Cody!
First goal for Liverpool, no? First goal!
Do you know what's funny? I think Robbie... Oh, it's offside.
No!
It's offside. It's offside.
Is it?
It's offside. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, no, it's not.
Trent is still celebrating. Gakpo's still celebrating.
Goal.
It's funny because Robbie said on this morning's roundup that he was going to score.
Oh, he's so happy.
Robbie
He said 1-0. He said 1-0 Liverpool, Gakpo to score.
All right, Robbie, can you do that every week for us, please, mate?
Let's see it.
Ooh,
Lovely goal. I was watching it.
Lovely bit on the pace again.
Lovely, Robbo. Lovely. Go on, stay on side.
Okay.
Salah.
Get on side. Get on side. Get on
Into
side.
the box.
And
Yeah, he is
on.
He's off.
Trent crosses it in.
That arm is
Gakpo
off. I
tap in.
am sorry. Look. Oh, he's on. He's on. It was the camera angle. It was the camera angle. They tricked us. They tricked us. You saw that angle.
Do you know what? That didn't even look.
He is on. He is on, bruv.
Oh man.
Well,
2-0. 49 minutes. This was perfect.
Joy
isn't it?
I feel right now.
I want to
honestly.
say like, oh, they've cemented that in the 49th minute, but anything can happen still.
It can.
You know that anything
can.
can happen.
Do you know, I love this positivity, but
I know. I don't know when I drop the facade. Like, come on. The thing is,
I love it, but
Liverpool just support Everton.
No, it's not. It's because I have to keep this positivity. Being a Chelsea fan, like at the moment, if you don't have
Fellow
positivity,
blue, you can
you
understand.
die. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, João Felix, mate. Wow.
Oh, what
Chelsea a
a
little bit.
player!
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a little sort of scene as
They're
you're
going to keep
here.
him
Yeah.
as well, aren't they?
Do you reckon you'll keep them, Ellie? Keep João Felix?
Will we keep him?
Yeah.
Well,
There's no permanent clause, is
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
there is no permanent clause, and I keep forgetting that. That's what I'm saying. What do you mean?
What do you mean? That's what they said.
Obviously, we're not going to get rid of him. That fills me with dread, him going again, because I just think, like, the link up as well. Like, he's got Enzo and him. It's just unbelievable.
That was a baller.
But there's nothing in his clause, so like we can keep him, and I just don't really see how we're going to kind of get around that.
1 year extension
But then,
before he came.
if he doesn't go to Chelsea, don't think he wants to stay at Let's Go. Otherwise, he won't be going out on loan.
Yeah, no,
Real
definitely.
Madrid.
They need a superstar.
But I know. I think if we can, we'll buy him 100%.
I mean,
How much is he going to
be spending
cost?
dough like man.
Yeah, we
How
are.
much is he going
100
to?
mil.
But
When it comes
that's
to
the
Chelsea,
thing.
they'll be like-
That is exactly how much is he going to cost, because he cost us. I mean,
How many
It's like
millions is it?
15
for-
million to loan.
I think it's like 11
No, it's
million
like-
for the loan.
no,
Yeah,
I
loan.
think.
It was something like 11 million.
I think it was more than that. I wanted to say.
Or 13
but
million.
for a loan, for then him to be out for 3 games,
It's like 30%
it
of his
cost,
loan.
genuinely, him being out cost us like I think like 2 million.
Yeah, it did. Which doesn't matter to you because you just spent 600 million. So
Yeah,
what's
it's
a
pennies,
little
innit?
pocket change there, mate?
Bowley's
But no, he was
What
honestly
are you
watching him play against
doing?
West Ham. He just looked. I was gonna say sexy. I meant his play, but
Yeah,
obviously
he
he's
looked-
a bloody good-looking boy as well, isn't
He looked brilliant. He did. Going forward into the next season, so you might
Please
not get
score.
Champions League similar to Liverpool.
Please
Do you
score.
think that team that you've bought and
he?
that
No,
mass-
we will get Champions League because we're gonna win it this season.
Okay, bud.
Yeah.
So going into next season, do you think that them players are going to mould and gel together? Can you see it happening?
100%. I actually think, like, just looking at, like, I know there's only so much you can take away from seeing on the pitch, but looking at pictures of them in training, that sort of thing, they just look like they get on well. Like,
Having a laugh.
I heard Reece today, and he did an interview on the Kelly and Wrighty show, which is a Premier League show, and he just said, like, you know, these players are unbelievable. Like, obviously, people are expecting, just because you spend all the money, for it to just like click straight away, and that doesn't happen. But you know, he's saying that they're great.
It's always going to take a bit of time to gel.
It's always going to take a bit of time.
How
Exactly.
long do you give Potter though? Because I feel like even now, early on, I feel like some Chelsea fans their patience is wearing a little bit thin because maybe they're not seeing the football or his tactics implemented. But obviously, as you said, things aren't going to work overnight. You've got a new ownership, whole raft of new players, new manager coming in. But at what point do you start putting pressure on Potter? Is this season almost like a free hit?
Wow.
This season's a free hit. There's no pressure on Potter at the moment. Obviously, he's going to be feeling it himself. He's come from, a smaller club where he did really, really well. He's taken on a huge club that had so many issues. Like, look at our last year. We've been through so much as a team, and he's picked that up. He then had to deal with signings that Tuchel didn't even want, really, and then a couple that he did that obviously Potter's not been playing. It's all just been a lot. It's been a lot for him. So I think this season he's got a massive, very long contract. This season is just a get through it kind of season. I think if we don't get Champions League next year, as much as obviously it's sad and it'll be weird not to be in the Champions League, it will give him more time to work with his players, and that's something that he's not used to. Like, when he was at Brighton, he had a lot more time between matches to work with them, implement his style of play, and he's just not had that at the moment. So it almost might be a blessing in disguise to not get Champions League next year. And obviously, I'm not saying that's something that
every
I want.
time you've been in Europe,
look at Arsenal right now. Look at Arsenal right now. Arsenal are literally top of the league after I've not
because they had it off. That's it. And also they saw through their manager. That's another thing. Yeah. They saw, they stuck with Arteta, and look what they're doing now. Obviously, they're having a little blip at the minute, but they've done so well, and I think that genuinely is with sticking with the manager, them being able to build up a team in the way that they want to, working with the players that they've signed.
Do you believe Potter's the right man for the job, though?
I actually do, because I think with our players that we have, we've got a couple like Sterling and Aubameyang that are really, really big players, and they probably could have done with a bigger manager. Generally, our team is quite young. I mean, we had 7 on the pitch, I think, the other day, under 24, and Potter is renowned for working with young players. So I actually think it's his bread and butter. Similar to, Everton's Dyche's. This is his bread and butter now. If he can work with all of that, I think he can do so well. It is just having the balls to,
I think there
not
is a
play
little bit of that,
play Sterling.
Some people are saying the players might have too big of egos. Oh my God, Liverpool are on a break here again.
Salah again.
3.
No.
Oh my God.
Is that at the bar or did he save it?
I don't know.
Unbelievable shot from Hendo, though.
I'm sure that was a cross.
It definitely was, I think.
I do not think he was.
I definitely don't think he was aiming for goal. That is poor. Everton for the last 5 minutes or so have just been making mistakes since the goal, almost begging Liverpool to get a third. No, I think he was trying to float that to the back post.
So do I.
He'll take it though.
Just to carry on the point about Chelsea, I do think that what the fans have to do, it's a cliche but they have to look at teams like Arsenal with Arteta, they have to look at teams like Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp, Pep with Man City, and see what trust in the process actually gets you. They've just spent 600 million, so this is his team to mould, and you've bought some fantastic lads there. That Enzo looks brilliant. João Felix, we already know, looks boss. And also for me, Mudryk does look good. I can't lie. He does look fast,
good.
quick with his feet.
And also, I know he didn't play so well against West Ham, but Badiashile is him and Thiago Silva at the back. What two players that is. Then get Chile and Reece back in the team full time. And honestly, that defence is solid.
I said for depth-wise, I think you guys have probably one of the best defences in my opinion. Reece James and Malo Gusto. A lot of people don't know him. Get to know him, trust me. That kid is Reece James 2.0.
Why are you not passing the ball there?
But you've got quality centre backs as well. I think with Thiago Silva signing another deal was massive as well. I think
it's huge.
We was having a conversation about him, where does he rank all time kind of centre backs
and
everything. And we were saying he's one of the best of his generation, but I don't think anyone can say when Thiago Silva signed at 36 for Chelsea, they expected 3 years later that he'd be leading them still
and signing a new contract.
I was like, mate, give it till November. His hamstring and groins will be screaming.
But he's not. He's been one of our most solid players in terms of no injuries. As well is
he's
so fit.
People have said when you go back to a back 4, he'll get exposed. They're only playing in a back 3 because of protecting Thiago. But the last couple of weeks ago, he's shown how comfortable he can be within that as well. I just question whether Chelsea fans have never had to have patience. In the 20 years you've had under Abramovich, it's been instant success. As soon as a manager stinks it up. Lovely. I love that. And that's what's got you where you are. That's what's made you Chelsea. And now all of a sudden, with Potter, it's like you're asking Chelsea fans to reprogram themselves.
I fully believe.
Can you lot actually do it? Like, if you lot are still stinking it up till the end of the season, Champions League, you crash out. Next season, the start isn't great. I know you'll be in here calling Potter.
The thing is, I won't. But I also would never have said Tuchel out. Like, but I'm not. But I'm personally just not like that.
That was crazy to be.
Like that was crazy. To this day, is still crazy. But like Potter's in now. Like what happened with Tuchel's done, dusted months ago.
Move on.
And Potter's in, and I genuinely think
Oh
that
my God.
he.
Where's this?
Darwin. No.
Shock. Can't do anything with it.
Pickford said no.
He's got an assist, by the way, Ellie. Okay.
Hey.
Do you know?
We'll be having words.
Do you know what I truly believe? That if Potter is sitting not in the top 4 next December, he's sacked.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because they'll bring in a manager and they'll spend loads of money and they'll bring it in for January.
What's the point, though?
What's
the point? We're going to be working with a new manager with so many new players that he's not signed again. That would be a joke.
Ellie, that's worked for you so many times.
What would you say to Jose Mourinho Part 3?
Nah, you can't. No.
For one more run.
No. But I actually do think it's like an ex, isn't it? Like
I was about to say
keep going back.
It's the best ex. It's the one that got away.
Do you know what?
It's got rid of him twice incorrectly.
I want to say something. I don't think it's acceptable for the stream. But like you go back to an ex for certain reasons, and those reasons are good. They're good, but the fundamentals aren't there, and it's never going to be a long-term thing.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
For the
No, I do. I don't care.
You don't want the chaos and
I would
success
go
anymore.
through the pain for maybe one more season and keep Potter rather than like chop and change again just because we want an instant quick fix.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Listen,
But Mourinho
we've signed
is
these
that
players on
instant
8-year
quick-
contracts.
He's like
if
that
we wanted a
itch,
quick
innit?
fix, we wouldn't like do something like that. We've got these players now. Get a manager in that can work with them alongside their contracts, and by the end of it, you're going to be seeing a team that's incredible if you stick with them. I genuinely believe that.
I agree.
Eddie Howe at some point, Newcastle fans will get sick of him. Maybe not now. Now he's the flavour of the season, but if Newcastle go and get Jose and they start winning things with him, Chelsea fans will be looking at that and say, we should have brought him back.
That's the thing.
We can always look at things and be like, oh, I wish we'd had that. Like, oh, wish we'd signed Eddie Howe. You know, Everton say that. Like, it's he is, but I'm not saying it. If he comes home, like, fine, we'll welcome him with open arms. You know, do you want a cup of tea? But right now, I'm happy with Potter. I don't agree with the Potter out.
Do you know what? I respect that because even Matisse was saying that as well. He was like, I'm not in a rush. I'm willing to, for once, tease it out through this rough period. And I truly believe it's partly a lot to do with because they've seen Arsenal's process. They've seen him be the laughingstock for the last 3 years, and then now it's like a rejuvenated team. Let's be honest, from top to bottom, the club looks completely different. So I think teams are looking at him and like, do you know what? We'll rough it out for a season or two.
But I think our fans just need to simmer down a little bit as well, because as we said earlier, you know, clubs do listen to fans, they do. And if Todd Bowley's listening to everyone going, Potter out, he's going to go, ooh, everyone wants Potter out. It must be the right thing to do, because I don't really know.
Yeah, exactly that. If they're not football inclined themselves, they make silly decisions, and that's why Tuchel that's one of the reasons why Tuchel got
Damari Gray coming on here for Ellie Sims, just coming off now. You reckon this could bring a little freshness to the front line,
Definitely change the game now, this, I think.
Yeah, but...
Look at him.
Look at that. Zippy, straight away.
It's at 2-0.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's at 2-0. Everton don't score 2 goals in a game.
No, it's true. I think if it was 1-0 going into the 60th minute now, different game altogether. I'm scared. But the fact that we got that early goal in the first half, it's sort of shut it out a little bit. And also, it's given us some confidence. Look at this! Got a Cody, lad!
Oh, my God!
Hey, World Cup Gakpo is here!
Yes, lads!
Oh, Is that Luis Diaz? Or
No, Nunez.
Diaz hasn't played football for the last 7 years, lad.
What's going on, though? He's had those 3 good chances now, surely.
I mean, but that's what he does, though.
But also, why are Everton not learning? This is the 3rd time this has happened.
Do you know what? It's
where
weird.
they're not getting back. They're not
speed.
They haven't got the pace. They haven't got the pace to keep up with them.
But if they don't have the pace, then don't get yourself into a situation where you don't have anyone back there, surely.
I agree.
Why am I getting angry for Everton?
Wow, she's been so
I'm going to get a swift backhand in a minute. He's not.
I don't know why I'm getting so fuming at you. Like you've been in the dressing room with them going like, carry on, lads.
I'm really sorry.
Good lad.
That's good. Hold up.
Oh,
good. This is the type of energy I want. Do you know who else has had a good performance? Basatic, lad. Yeah, go ahead.
Bro, he's been good since he's come into that team. Aside from that one cup game against Wolves, where he got absolutely cooked and put in a rotisserie.
Was as well, to be quite
everybody was, to be fair. But aside from that game, every time I've seen him play, I was like, yo, he looks a decent player.
What are you doing?
That was awful.
This is bad. This is bad, Everton.
Capitulation.
Salah with a toe punch, cheeky.
See, this is what I was saying.
That's what I want to see.
You beat Arsenal. You dominate. You could score chances. You come to Anfield with a Liverpool team that are low on confidence, and you just do not rock up at the gaff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mentality
Tarkovsky
thing.
there, man. You could just see.
It could have gone anyway. It could have gone anyway, though.
Yeah, you were inches away from being 1-0, lad. What, like inches from my worst nightmare?
I do think. How different would the game have been if you had gone 1-0 up, though?
Yeah, we'd be 3-0 up, wouldn't we?
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't.
But I do think you would
I
have.
don't either.
No. Yeah, sorry, I'm the positive one here, but that was a bit far.
I was just, throwing it out there.
I just want to see Jurgen Klopp smile. I haven't seen him smile in ages. I miss it. It's infectious.
I like
Brings
that.
energy to the team and that. You know what I mean?
Let's keep
This
him
is
miserable.
the mentality is so important. Like
It's
it's
the
the whole
biggest thing.
psychology between everything. Because now he's happy. He's come
Look, why have you done
I'm
it
speaking
again?
so soon, but
What are you doing?
No, you're right, Ellie. You're absolutely right, Ellie.
He's
like, now they
leaving
go
that
back into the dressing room.
space.
Everyone's pumped. Everyone's like, listen, we've just beaten like Everton, who they just beat Arsenal. Like it's infectious.
It is. Also, it's like 1-1 again now. So like, Dicey beat us at Anfield, but also Jurgen Klopp's like, all right, kid.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Yeah.
your bus home, kid.
Mikalenko on that left side has been stripping for Salah all night. It's crazy.
Stripping for salad all night, jeez. Oh, it's wonderful for me to watch. Anyway. Trent,
Let's
where you
go.
going, lad?
Drive with that. Oh my God, man.
Here's
that's
your
too
ball.
slow.
Here's your ball.
Look at that.
Why so
There you
slow?
go.
It's behind him, though. Is that
You
Coleman?
can't even
It's
keep it
dead football, man.
You just need a new right back. I love Coleman, and at one point he genuinely was one of the best fullbacks.
legend.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes, 7 years
Premier
ago.
League
But now
legend.
he is a slug lad because he's so old.
No, he's been there more than 7 years, hasn't he?
No, I mean, like, he was done 7 years
How
ago.
old is he now? Is he 36, something like that?
I
37?
think he's 34. But,
34.
the thing is, we have got a right back, haven't we, Nathan Patterson? And to be honest,
yeah.
I rate him. Like, I like him. He goes forward. He's commanding. He's aggressive. He's quick. But he's injured. And he had an injury period last season. He's had an injury period this season. And my concern is he's just another Lewin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's painful that when you get promising players and they just keep getting injured, and eventually they drop out the team because they can't get back into it because someone's replaced them.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. It's really sad.
I mean,
to
look
see.
at the
Especially
subs.
when you are out
Look
for
how
so
dead that
long,
is.
the whole transfer window goes and comes, and you're actually just you're not
left
the same
behind
flavour
almost.
anymore.
Yeah, you're left behind.
Although I don't think we'll ever have that with Kante. As soon as he's back fit, he'll be back in.
I've got a big one for you. Yeah, big question for a Chelsea fan, and because I'm a Liverpool fan, do you regret letting Mohamed Salah go?
No.
Okay.
No, because I think
Because you don't like Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues and FA Cups
Wow.
and League Cups and stuff.
Wow.
no,
was
because
so
I
extensively
genuinely believe that like same with KDB.
Yeah.
Players are different in different teams, and yeah, you've had him an unbelievable run from him, but clearly something wasn't right for him with us. Do you know
I
what
don't
I mean?
think he would have ever became the player he is now had he stayed at
Yeah.
Chelsea.
He needed
Yeah.
the rejection
He
to
would have
put that
become another
fire in his
Solomon
belly.
Kalou.
It's like when you get dumped by somebody, and then you level up so much afterwards because you're like, hey, I ain't going out like that. That's not happening.
I think the only one that I
How
think
easy
would
is
have.
this?
Oh my God,
That's foul.
That is
yellow card
that
foul,
could
lad, as well, you
potentially
know.
be a sending off.
What are you moaning for, Cody, lads?
Yeah.
She's poor, man.
St. Helens him.
Sorry, what was I just saying there?
Sorry, I was just thinking about how Cody is from St.
You
Helens.
refer to
not
most.
from
You
Liverpool.
refer to Mo Salah as Solomon Kalou.
No.
You
Oh,
said-
Kevin De Bruyne was the one I was going to say. I
yeah.
think regardless, if he stayed at Chelsea, he would have still become the player he was in my eyes. I think that was one maybe I think Chelsea should have clung to because I look at the way Oscar left, Mata got dashed, and I'm like, oh,
You
they
could
could
have
have
filled in.
used them, yeah. When they had that, who was it, Matic and Kante. that double pivot. I was like, just in front of them, just in
yeah.
Oof, that would have been nasty.
Do you know what I think?
Hazard on the left of him. Oh,
I think going to these Serie A's and the Bundesligas, they're good quality leagues, especially Serie A's getting better. Bundesliga's been good for a number of years.
Good confidence
now.
boosters.
I think they get a little bit more time and space to hone the craft, and then once they feel confident in themselves, they start to build on that when they go to a bigger club like in the Premier League, where it's much quicker, much faster, and it's difficult. But they've got that confidence in them. So why can't I do this? I've just bagged plenty of goals here and there and whatever else it is. So I think everyone needs incremental development. Young players need it. It's important.
I don't think it always works out though, because you've got players like Jadon Sancho who
say that.
I mean, there is definitely a player in there, but I personally don't know if he's going to have the full potential in the Premier League.
It's
That's just my opinion.
You don't think so, no? I think, for me, I think Jadon Sancho he's a confidence player in my eyes. He's and I think a lot of wingers are. And I think coming to Man United, A, the pressure of coming to United is massive. B, that they chased him for 2 years, treated him like he was a star player, and then when he arrived, he got treated like a benchwarmer, essentially. Because Ronaldo came in and got shoehorned, they were like, oh, you see that number 7 we promised you? We'll give you 25. 2 for 5 equals 7. Same thing, you know. Yeah. And it was like, you're now on the bench, you've got to prove yourself. Jota coming on. But I feel like he just hasn't been given the perfect platform to showcase his talent. I'm not going to lie to you, at one point I thought he was almost like the third best young talent after Haaland and Mbappe.
And why wouldn't you think that?
And when he was at Dortmund, I don't believe that talent's gone anywhere. And I think we see glimpses of it at United. But the problem is he's never had that consistent run, I feel like. Fitness-wise, a manager who's actually believes in him. I feel like this year he's got Ten Hag, who said to him, go to the mountains and go and get your head right. And now you've come back, he's put his arm around him, he's going to give him the platform, he's going to give him the coaching. I feel like United...
He's also come back to a really different team. Ronaldo being out of that team, I think, has changed. Rashford has come out of his shell. Absolutely. This is a Rashford that we could have seen last season had he been given the chance, but just the presence of Ronaldo just changed everything. And him coming out of that team has just, I think, been done wonders for United.
A little shout. If Ronaldo wasn't there at the start of the season, I think Man United would legitimately be potentially at the top of the league.
I can't accept that.
I know it's tough, but if you think how well they have done since Ronaldo has not come back to Manchester United after that World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, Everton are being just sloppy here at this point, man. Come on.
But I just want to say on that, that's not a point against Ronaldo at all. It's a point, I think, the fact that one player can have so much impact mentally on everyone else. Yeah. And I think as well, the same with, like let's look at City, for example. Like Haaland, when he isn't on the pitch, like it feels like something's, like the game changes completely, something's missing. And it's not because that team isn't good, it's just mentally they've adapted for this player and they're playing for this player, and when he's then not there, something changes and they just need time, which Man United have now had to come back up, and they're not thinking about Ronaldo on the bench.
Actually got a coach as well that actually coaches players. Like we saw that at Ajax.
He's brilliant.
I think you see that with some of the players like Luke Shaw, I'm seeing has improved. Dalot, I'm seeing has improved. Fred, I'm seeing shades of improvement. And it's like, if he can get his arm around certain players, Rashford looks a complete different player. And I always say, if you can get the right manager who motivates players the right way, gives them the right tactical instructions, and I think Ten Hag, for me, is a brilliant manager. Under Ten Hag, I believe Sancho will come back in my opinion.
This is Frank Lampard football.
Now, if there's anyone that can do it, it is a manager like Ten Hag, without a shadow of a doubt. I think when his name got mentioned with Man United before he went there, it sounded perfect for me. He's going to be the start of a new rebuild. He's going
culture change.
I've said it on this channel before. Like what did I say? The best managers don't buy the best players. They buy the players for the system. Ten Hag has a very clear system that he implements. So does Jurgen Klopp. So does Pep. So does Dicey. And so that's where you get successful football teams, because they know where they're going, they know what they're good at, and that's what they build on. And that Ten Hag is doing it right now. Rashford, mate, wow. Absolutely wow, phenomenal human being and a phenomenal footballer.
Even just on the Ronaldo situation as well, how he handled it, I'll be honest with you. Like in the summer, Ronaldo's kicking up a fuss. He's like, no, I need Ronaldo. He's part of my team. He's a senior man. Like he stayed professional the whole way throughout Liverpool, almost getting one there. But even then, when he was leaving and getting rid of him, it wasn't like some bitter divorce. It was like, okay, you've done that interview, now we're going to let you go. And then the very next day, we're moving on from Ronaldo. Cool, case closed. I'm like, mate, normally United, it's always like a drama.
Yeah.
Like the Lukaku situation
but actually,
with you guys last year, it's like
it was brushed under the carpet so
quickly,
easily that actually it wasn't such a big thing anymore, and that it meant that actually the team could then step back up and start playing football like they've been, we've seen in the past from them.
With players like
seeing
Rashford.
a Rashford that we saw glimpses of before Ronaldo, and now he's flying.
And now he's at that age as well where you can kind of say. Previously, I always felt like there was almost too much pressure on Rashford to kind of carry United himself, if that makes sense. There was no one really around him. Ollie would play him on like half injury.
The wing as well.
Get out there and just get me a goal type of thing on the counter-attack. Whereas now I feel like he's actually got a system around him. He's got better players around him. He's got leaders like Varane and Casemiro who can take some of the pressure. You won the kids like Garnacho coming off the bench and providing a little something. So for me, I think United, it's a good time to be there, I can't lie.
Garnacho, an unbelievable player as well. I think he's class, isn't he?
Yeah, it's good.
And actually, I think is exactly what Rashford needs, because he's just a bit younger. He's probably someone that Rashford can feel like he can really work with, and he's not working for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he can relate to.
Yeah, exactly.
Garnacho's done well. He's done well, but then he's I don't know if anyone else is going to think this is a mad shout, but I think he reminds me of Januzaj a little bit, where he's brilliant on his first season and he looks exciting, but we don't know what he's going to produce the next season. But he has been good so far, to give credit to him.
He did get a lot of criticism.
What are you doing? Why are you turning there?
Aye, that was a cute turn though. It did work out. It did work out in the end.
Can you see the comparison?
This is Frank Lampard football. This is literally
just left over lads.
Just
hungover.
It's honestly, it's.
Dyche is going to drill that. He's going to bleep test that out of them.
After the game. Honestly, it's aimless. It's pointless. It's passing for the sake of it. This is an Everton team that's just reverted back to a culture that they're used to. Which obviously, Dyche has only been there 2 weeks. I can understand it. They're 2-0 down at Anfield. They're not feeling comfortable getting pegged. So. They may as well just revert back to what they know, which is keeping the ball but doing nothing with it.
Yeah. Go on, diags into the channel.
And this is what happened.
Oh.
Play the ball
over
there.
The top! No!
And there's no vision either. No vision.
I think that was great from a we have a
I mean, it's
dead,
number
9 made a perfect run and there was space there as well. You should have just over the top.
That's it. Calm the game down now, lads. Just chill out a little bit.
Dead. Look at the gaps.
He's been brilliant.
Nah, the kid's
brilliant, lads.
Composure.
What a young player he is, lad.
Reminds me of Modric.
Modric? Wow!
No, he's just so chill. He's just so chill.
He's being compared to Modric, did you hear that?
He's just chill.
Not me, I didn't say that.
Who have you just compared to?
Listen. No, not as in like footballing ability, but he's just so chill on the ball. And I remember Modric at Tottenham, just chill. And he's exactly like that. He's just chill. Nothing phases him. If he needs to turn left, he'll turn left. Turn right. He's not bothered who's in front of him. He picks a pass. Easy football.
I love that about him. Like he is that. And you know what else I really like about him? He doesn't seem like he's built massively yet, but he seems to stand up to the big lads still.
So
he's
easy,
tough,
man. And now we're bringing on Neil Mulpay to change the game.
It'll be a little shit house for you. Lovely.
Right, guys, random question. If you could pick anyone from your team to have dinner with, who would it be?
Like the team or the manager? Can you pick the manager as well? Because definitely Jurgen Klopp.
Nah, manager's too easy. You'd always pick the manager.
Why would you always pick the manager?
Do you know I've met Jurgen Klopp?
Have you?
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah. No, from the team.
I love the way she just threw that in and she went, do you know I've met him and you haven't, by the way?
I've had dinner with him. No, I haven't had dinner with him.
Who would I like to have dinner with? Okay. I don't know what.
He's not in my club. He's away on loan. But
nah, lad, you've got to be in.
No, it's got to be in current team. Team.
I would have said Tanguy and Dombele. I just want to put an arm around him and just tell him, bro.
It's okay, lad. You know.
I know you can do it. I see the magic in your feet.
That's actually. Do you know what? I actually love that.
Yeah. Listen,
Marshes, lad.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, MPK, I'll meet you there.
They get far.
What?
No, you can't pick them.
I would probably.
This has been a stinker second half from Tarkowski.
Christian Romero.
Stinky man.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
grill him about that.
Lad.
I like both defenders. He's a nut job just like me. World Cup winner.
Be like, Romero, why are you off your head, lad?
Why do you like kicking people just as much?
Because I like it too, but let me...
Is it a desire to kill the man, or is it a desire to win the ball? And then I want us to both mutually say,
a bit of both.
You are me. me. I am you.
Mate.
Have you seen that meme?
You seem so nice in your last answer.
Why would we be here? Look at us.
There's one answer, I want to put my hand around the bloke, and the next one, we both like to kill.
Oh my God! Why are you taking an Nana off
Go on,
the
Ellie.
pitch?
Your turn. Who's your player?
Oh no, let me have a think. I was thinking about yours. Let me have a think. I know.
Do you know what I'll go with? If I can't pick Jurgen Klopp, I'm going to pick Andy Robbo, because again, he's off his head as well. And I've seen some funny moments. And I'll say to him, why did you jab Messi in the back of the head, lad? What was the motivation behind that? Did you just feel like, I'm just going to punch the best player that's ever played the game? Or like, what happened there, lad? So that's what I would
No, that's
do.
pretty good.
Also, share a little bit of haggis, a lime brew and that with him. No problem.
Yeah, I rate that.
You definitely need subtitles for that.
Yeah, both of us. It's be a lot of There'll be Guinness everywhere and haggis everywhere, lad.
What is this medieval language they're speaking? Oh man.
Would they understand each other, do you reckon?
Absolutely.
No, they would
We're all
definitely.
Celtic nations,
Yeah. It's all like
Scotland, Liverpool, Newcastle,
yeah.
Celtic.
They're all like off branches.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Off the same thing.
We're the home office
Mikey,
in England
who would
for
you
Ireland.
Mikey, who go for?
Mine would be probably Vitaly Mikalenko, just because obviously he's had a rough 18 months, 12 months.
That's a shout, actually.
And I just think, you know what? I'd just like to see how he is. Just checking.
Oh.
Little
So I like that. That
was
was
nice.
That was wholesome.
little bit of a wellness checking.
They're like, Mikalenko, do you want a cup of tea, mate? Here you go, lad.
Anything you need,
Yeah.
man. Anything you need.
Yeah,
I'd rather you not be right back or left back for my football team, but I just want to check in.
I'll have dinner with you.
I will just want to check in on you.
Oh, James Milner would be an interesting conversation,
Absolutely
I think.
would. Yeah.
As much as he gets given the boring gimmick, I think he's seen so much
My
in the
big-
been
Premier
around
League.
for so long.
My big question to him would be, so, James, lad, where's the Fountain of Youth, kid? Because you've obviously tapped into that. How are you still going? Where's the Fountain of Youth?
Yeah. I know, it's because he started so young, though, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah. Like, it's
Was his first game at like 17?
2003, I remember it. Alan Smith, Viduka, Lee Bowyer were still playing in the Premier League. Those guys are managers and retired now. This guy is still beating bleep tests at Liverpool.
serious.
Like,
For a period of time, he was the youngest Premier League goal scorer, wasn't he?
yo.
Okay.
What's going on?
There we go.
Bluetooth problems. Firmino is on the pitch, wonderful. I had a little thing there where he wants to ask us some questions about his future and where we think he's going to go. I think I'd like to keep him still, but it's difficult at the moment when we're buying players like Nunez and Gakpo. How does he come in?
Oh my God!
This man!
Tom Davis, back post, sitter!
Dead baller, man.
It should have been
How
all
do you
over
miss
that.
that? That is on a silver platter. What a ball from Iwobi as well, man. Look, he saw the run perfectly.
Yeah, he's literally got that on a silk
sleeping.
pillow,
I'm
hasn't
sorry,
he?
man.
Yeah, it's alright.
Not once did he look over his shoulder
Sorry,
there.
but Iwobi's actually had some really, really good touches recently.
Yeah, it's just a shame he's the only one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Someone said, we love you, Bobby. They heard that Firmino chat. Listen,
So, yeah, honestly, like, my two favourite players for Liverpool, my favourite player was Bobby, and then Thiago come in, and they're both the two best technical footballers on our team. Fact, they are the best footballers. And the stuff he's done for us, he's an incredible footballer, and he's took the spotlight off himself to shine on other players, and I don't see why he can't continue to do that and play that role on our team. Why not? He's done it his whole career. He's fantastic at it, actually, and he entertains the fans. I think he gives something to watch. Yeah. I think that we should give him a contract. No, we shouldn't give him 350 grand a week, but we should definitely give him an extension on his contract. I don't see why not. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's what leaders do, though, don't they? They make people around them feel like they are the priority when actually, you know, they're the glue that fits.
Oh my God.
Everton are just so sloppy. This second half.
Watch this pass here.
This second half, they have just refused to be on the same page.
That's a good tackle.
Every time it comes to, they keep trying to build out of the back for no reason.
Sean Dyche will be fuming.
He's going to slap all of them when they get off. Each individual one's just waiting for a little.
Honestly, he'll phone up Lampard. He'll phone up Lampard and say, "This is what you did to this football team. Look
It's
at
your fault. You've set us back
Look
for
at
4 years. I'll come and see you tonight in London."
Good tackle from Tarkowski there, though.
Oh,
slipped,
I
to
didn't
be
even
fair.
mean it. He literally didn't mean it. He slipped.
That was a good fall over
It's
from
literally
Tarkowski
the
there, lad.
only thing he's done in this second half that's been positive.
I mean,
He's
he
given
did
the
win
ball
the game
away.
against Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm not doubting it, but this second half he's been horrendous.
That's the problem, though. Defending is your job, right?
Yeah.
Do that first, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the problem is there's no forward to put the ball in the net. There's some stats that just come up and Everton are like 20th for everything attacking in the Premier League.
Goals, expected goals, created chances.
That's why I said it at the start of the stream. I don't see where the goals are coming from unless it's a set piece from one of their defenders scoring it.
Yeah, why did I predict 2-2?
Do you know what I'm saying, lads? Are you mad?
But this is the thing, and you can clearly see it because it's all happening.
What?
Oh my god.
What is that?
It's all
That
happening
was
on the
merely a brilliant
counter,
assist.
and they're clearly not getting back
Well
in
played.
time.
What
But
tackle?
their game against
What
Arsenal, like, it
challenge?
shows
It's
that they
not a
can
foul.
defend because Arsenal's
It's not a foul.
expected goals, their XG was the lowest it's been all season against Everton, which shows that the defence is there for Everton.
Yeah.
So what's going on right now is they're pushing up too far forward. And I know we said just go for it, but then get back in time.
Is
They
it
can't go 'cause clubs.
you can't be too mad at it? I mean, at the end of the day, Liverpool are still a
Yeah, if you-
this is still
if-
Anfield.
if you-
That's not what we were
if
saying
you
at the
would've
beginning of the stream.
It's a free hit,
It wasn't.
essentially, isn't it?
It wasn't.
If you
Don't
would've
worry.
said to me- What was it?
Sorry, Richard. Football fans are so quick to
48%.
change what they've said.
They were like, I hate you, Doyle. Liverpool's crap. Anfield's not even anything good and all that. And now look at them, lads.
Yeah.
2-0
Yeah, Anfield's
Oh, it is
quiet.
Anfield, though. It is one of them. Liverpool are quality and that.
formality, isn't it,
Okay, lads.
Nah, honestly, bro, for real, if you'd have said to me, Mike, you're going to take 3 points out of Arsenal and Liverpool, as an Everton fan, you take it where we are.
Yeah, that's true.
So losing one of these is not the end of the world. I just want these players to be picked up off the floor and go again. Go against Leeds and go and win the game. Whether it's 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, I don't care. Win the game. Then you've got a home game against Aston Villa. You've got teams like Brentford coming up at home, which is tough games. But these are games that we've got to win to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Not Liverpool
Do you know what?
away.
It might be.
that's-
Would say it's maybe a bit of a reality check before you then go in to play those lower
Yeah,
half
I
the
mean,
table
look,
teams.
you know, and you rightly said, like, I was probably a bit negative coming into this, saying, oh, you know what, it'd be nice to get a 1-1 draw. And there was a lot of gassed people in them comments saying Everton are going to win this game 2-0 with, you know, 42% predicted Everton would win. We just sometimes, as football fans and as a fan base, just need to take a step back and a bit of a reality check. We are 18th in the league for a reason. Why are we all of a sudden going to go to Anfield and get 3 points? Yes, it was a great performance last week, but there was a new manager in that week. That bounce is clear as day.
Yeah, handball.
Yeah, that was a handball. That was a handball. Sure.
Come on.
Go on, Robbo. Yes,
Well, no,
good
yeah, I
lad.
agree.
Oh, Pickford, you mother.
I hate him.
That's why I want dinner with Robbo. That's why.
You know what, fair
So we can
fair
go
play.
Oh,
I like
look at
Coleman
He
as well,
laughed at him,
man.
lad.
I
He
love
laughed
that.
in his face. Great. Love it, Robbo. Van Dijk. Yes, bigger than them all, lads.
Hey, Van Dijk, look at this. The enforcer is here.
That's actually brilliant.
Look at him, Obi, lad.
Nobody wants it with Virgil.
He held
Hey,
up
Virgil's
once.
too scary.
He was like, nah, kid, stay there, bro. Calm and composed and chill.
strong.
Oh my
I
god.
love this little bit of Merseyside rivalry here. This
That
is what
was
we
one
love to
for
see,
one,
man.
that, lads. One for
Go
one.
on. Whole benches. Clash. Let's go.
Simicast being held
You're a
back.
muppet, lad. You're a
What are we
muppet.
doing, mate? You're tiny.
I'm
Are
Scouse now.
Simicast and Darwin best friends? Can I just ask?
I know, because he shared
Anana, man, chill out.
Yeah, the mini me.
Onana said, what, Virgil, who?
know what's
Come
serious?
see me. And Virgil don't want to with Onana. Why not?
Listen, lads.
Why not?
This is
Why
the-
is he not picking up fight with Onana?
I hate when they do this, right? Because none of these players are going to throw punches at each other. They're all just doing it to save face, lad. What are you doing? Be a professional.
Just
get on
make you
with it.
laugh, doesn't it? It's not like Sunday League
It's
where
not
someone
actually
lamps
if you
you.
let him
Like,
go, all he's going to do is push him, and then he'll get
Yeah.
back up, and that's about it, really. It's like the fights in school that you see him, and it's like, oh, go ahead.
you know,
lad.
do you know, like Richarlison was that player for you that you hated?
I hated him so much.
Robbo's that for me. I
I know,
can't
and I know
stand
that,
him.
and that's why I want to have dinner with him, lad. So I can be
Yeah.
like, can you teach me how to be like
he's
this?
got more
You can send me a picture.
I'm trying to play peacemaker here as well.
Sorry, but you're so right with what you said about the fact that if you just left them do it, what are they going to do? Push each other?
Exactly.
Go
Maybe
nose-
we
nose
should
to
stop
nose.
this now.
Yeah,
We
get
should
on
stop
ass,
this.
man. Come on, just chill out. Play the game. But also, that was funny the way Robbo laughed in his face. I love it.
Nah, that was so
That
funny.
was great. Love it. Love it, mate.
Little bit of argy-bargy there. Last 5 minutes of the Merseyside derby.
Nothing wrong with that, lad. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
it was.
I mean, that's on board, but I mean, nothing wrong with a bit of argy-bargy, kid.
What's up? You got something you're doing? I love this game.
Oh man,
That's brilliant.
Cody's got him by the back of the neck because he knows he can't.
Bro, you know exactly what I'm going to say.
Lad, Robbo's more scoused than Cody.
Ooh.
Yes, lad!
Oh my god.
Is Salah going to ice it? One more. What a save.
Oh.
Good save.
What a good save that is.
Good save.
Good save, lad.
Hey.
That hairline.
What was that?
He's mental.
He's off his head.
Yeah, I like it. He's gurning.
Yeah, Milinko has been just going.
He's been getting.
Both fullbacks have been absolutely destroyed.
The thing is,
tonight.
I can understand with Coleman. I'm like, you're an OAP. I kind of get it. With Mikalenko, bro, you're one of the highest paid players at this club. Please don't disgrace yourself like this.
And actually, he started really well for Everton. I really like.
I think going forward and like from technically, he's brilliant.
Remember that
I just
volley he
think
scored?
defensively, he's just not good.
He scored a brilliant volley, didn't he? Remember that?
Mate, I remember the Euros against Holland. He was a weapon for Ukraine.
Go on,
number 3! No, man. Liverpool are just
chance
teasing
after
here.
chance here, lad.
Oh, what is this?
This is the best I've seen us play in ages. It
I was
really
going to
is.
say, this actually has
The
been...
stress is actually. What? I'm stressed. Surely you must be like, or are you just? Are you just?
No. Just do you know what?
We're just casually having a conversation while he's
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like this is where Everton
giggling
are.
away while he's got tears rolling down his eyes.
I can't remember.
Trust me, there's no tears for this team anymore. I'm telling you, it's frustrating because it's just a dead performance, isn't it? Like,
That's what I was going to say this. You know, if you put up a fight against us and we won 1-0, or even if we won 2-0, but it was hard fought, and he's just being really poor today.
We have
misplaced passes.
We have, but to be honest, if as I said before, if you're going to be poor, just go and be poor. Get that game out of your system. Don't do it at home to Leeds.
Yeah, do it here.
Do it away at Anfield,
That's
where I mean, a lot of people obviously expected us to win or get a point, but let's be real. We're not expected at the start of the season to go to Anfield and get 3 points. We don't really do it ever. So if it's going to be a bad performance, leave it in Liverpool, leave it at Anfield, go and beat Leeds.
Yeah. You're right. Like tonight wasn't the night to go and make history.
No.
Yeah. It wasn't in the schedule.
It would have been unbelievable if you'd gone to Anfield and made history.
It would have been real positive, really positive. You know, all of a sudden Everton aren't in the bottom 3 there. I think they'd be 15th if I'm not mistaken. Be really positive, but the facts are, we've got to beat Leeds, Villa. We've got Forest away where we've got to get a point or a result. We've got Brentford coming up at home as well. We've got to get 3 points or a point. We've got to win our home games. Going to Anfield and enter one. It's disappointing. I wanted a performance. In my heart, in my head, I was saying 1-1. Liverpool had been poor. Everton would go in with a bounce, and they did have a bounce up until you scored, and it's that simple.
Yeah. Listen, 4 minutes of added time here at the end. Everton's showing a little bit of fight. Maybe they can leave with something. Go on, Damari.
No.
Seen bigger shockers happen.
Look at Milner, specimen. Go on, Jota, get it. Oh, he's slipping. Whoa, what happened there? That was mad, it's like someone swiped the rope from underneath him, lad. Wow. And that's why I wouldn't play them for 90 minutes, because he's still not there yet, you know what I mean?
Bajcetic just come off there as well for Naby Keita, and Elliot just coming on last substitution. What do you make of his performance today?
Nunez, Bajcetic and Robbo, all fantastic. And I'm going to give Fab his credits as well. He hasn't been the best player on the pitch, but he's definitely been at a standard where we want him to be. But Bajcetic, I'm going to give it to him, man of the match for me, right? Just because he's bloody 18. He's 18 years old, 17 years old. He's a kid. And he's playing like he's 25, ready. He's just being compared to Modric by Mikey and Everton fan, lad. Do you know what I mean?
He said his composure.
Yeah?
Just composure.
No, right.
Just composure. Let me listen. Just the composure. Just no one cancel me yet. Just the composure.
He's trying to get you cooked. I'm looking out for you, Mikey. I'm looking out for you.
Not only is my team getting rotisseried, I am.
Yeah, Bajcetic, lad, brilliant.
Man of the match.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
I think you can all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
He's been great.
Yeah, he's been all over the game.
In a one position, I thought Everton would dominate. They haven't, and it's been down to him.
I think, for me, right, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think he's a catalyst for the other two older lads that are looking at him thinking, we need to pick up the energy.
What is that, man?
Good pressure.
Produce something. There's no one with height in that box. There's no point. What's that?
Go on, then.
What's that?
Fantastic pass to Elliot.
Who's your next fixture against, Doyle?
We have. Don't even know actually. Who is our next fixture? Newcastle. That's
a big match
after
this.
We probably won't win that one. Newcastle, even when we are wonderful and we're playing our best football ever, Newcastle away is always one of the toughest fixtures to go to.
But how important is this win going to be in terms of going now?
Absolutely, it's going to give us momentum. But at the same time, I've seen Liverpool win 9-0 this season against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I've seen Liverpool beat Tottenham in a gritty game 2-1. I've seen Liverpool beat Man City at 1-0 at Anfield. I've seen this reset button be pressed a few times. I don't think one answer is the key to our success at the rest of the season. I think we just got to pick up performances. And if anything, this was probably our best performance all season. Against a defensive side, by the way, that is good at defending. They're all right at defending. They're not good at attacking. So we have been able to break them down and score good goals. So I think it'll give us loads of confidence, and the fact that Newcastle are struggling to score at the moment. They're going through a little blip similar to Arsenal, and it always happens around this time. Every team gets a bit of drop in form. So this must do them the world of good, absolutely. And remember what I said about having 2 days off? Here we go. This is what it's done for them. It's helped their mentality, lads. Because they have been great. The first 5 minutes they were a bit shaky, but after that I think Liverpool have been the best team, genuinely. We've dominated.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even, you can't even argue with that. Not from an Everton. You can't argue with the fact that Liverpool have played better. If that chance goes in, it's probably a different game. But it didn't. It didn't. Point. So we can't live in matter of facts. Like, we have to live in matter of facts, sorry. So the facts are, you've done us 2-0, a team that is defensive.
Might not be over.
You've done that all game.
Yeah, that pass there.
That pass down the right side.
So much.
All game, and yet nothing has been done to stop it. And that's either because they ain't capable of stopping it, which is poor, but it's one of them.
I think what you need to do is strengthen going into next season. You just need to buy some attackers, mate. Yes!
And that's that.
That's it, full time. Manager handshake's very different to the
last
ones
time.
After the Burnley game.
Remember that?
Down the tunnel.
Beef, weren't it?
Yeah.
2-0 Liverpool, and that's Liverpool now 9 points off top 4 with a game in hand. Doyle, how you feel walking away from that now?
Listen, no top 4, right?
Coming into it and leaving it.
Right, top 4, yeah. Liverpool in the season, when we had the poor season, we had all them injuries, right? We had to win our last 10 games, yeah? We had to win the last 10. And what did we do, lad? What did we do?
Went on a run.
We went and won them last 10 games and knocked them off third. Yeah, Chelsea to 4th with a lovely Alisson header at the end. Never write Liverpool off. You can't do that. Having said that, I'm not going to be optimistic in the sense that we're definitely going to get it. Can't say that we're going to. We've been incredibly poor, and there's a new entity in Newcastle. They are fantastic, without a shadow of a doubt. Same with Fulham now. Fulham are great as well. Brighton, great. Brentford, all these. Spurs.
Yeah, it's a nice try.
What I would say is, how many times have people written Liverpool off only to be proven wrong in the end? How many times? I bet yous have all done it.
You can't. The thing is, you can't write Liverpool off, but you just cannot call anything that happens in the Premier League.
You can't. So going out to this performance, going into it, you seen how nervous I was. Wasn't looking forward to this game. I've been doing interviews and all these videos around it all week. Wasn't looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be the nightmare situation of exactly what was about to happen. Tarkowski scores a goal, he's got 1-0, and we can't break it down for the rest of 90 minutes, and I fall asleep watching it. That's what I thought was going to happen, and it nearly did. But it didn't, and we scored. And that's all it was.
And it was far from falling asleep. You had so many chances in that second half specifically.
To be honest, I think even if Everton had scored tonight, that chance at the start, I still think you created enough chances to score goals tonight.
But the mentality of the lads wouldn't been, let's get up, let's try and get a goal back. It would have been, let's sit back. We had so much space with your fullbacks because you were coming at us, because you had to go and get a goal, lad. But if you got that goal first, your fullbacks are just pinned to the back line, lad, and there's no getting in behind. It doesn't have to worry about pace. That's what it would have been, lads. Just the way it was with Arsenal. So I'm made up. Look at him. Yes! This is what I've missed this so much. They weren't normal ones. They were relieved ones. Did you see them ones? They weren't like the little pumps, like they were like long drawn out. Like, oh my God, finally we've won a game, and we won it convincingly. Yes.
Mike, are you frustrated walking away from that a little bit, or are you just kind of thinking, do you know what? Anfield away, free hit. We just move on to the next one.
It's what I said before, and it's look, Everton went there with confidence. Liverpool, no confidence. Everton get done 2-0. It's typical. Everton hit the post. They hit us on the counter and score within 10 seconds. I mean, it is. unfortunately, this weird Anfield voodoo that Everton seem to not be able to perform, it is what it is. We'll move on.
Yeah.
As I said, the games that are important are coming up.
Leeds at home next. Well, give me a prediction for that.
Well, Everton have to win, so I don't care if it's 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, whatever. Everton need to win, and if they don't, if it's a draw, you see both teams are still going to fight this to the end of the season. If Everton can beat Leeds, take a bit of confidence, because Leeds have played really well recently against Man United. If they can beat Leeds, go into that game at home and Villa, and again get a result, I'd still sit here and say Everton stay up.
Back-to-back 6 pointers.
I was going to say that because you said, Mikey, like at the beginning, if we can get 4 points out of Arsenal and Liverpool, I'd be confident that we stay up.
Yeah, so if you can get 9 out of 12...
You're just going to say that game after game now.
So if you can get 9 out of 12, I still say we're going to stay up. Do you get what I mean? Like, we have to... Unfortunately, because we've lost to teams like Wolves at home, like Southampton at home, Leicester at home, these teams were bottom in the league when they went to Goodison Park, and we lost to all of them. So Everton have to get results against the perceived big teams.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it away from home because Everton's away performances are poor. We just don't win away from home. I think we've won 2 out of 27 away from home.
Wow.
Man.
It's not good enough.
So home form is really where the difference is going to be.
Exactly, and we didn't have that fortress. So the only way Everton stay up this season, if it's not too late, because I would have bought in Doyle 4 weeks before, 4 or 5 weeks before it did. If it's not too late, we'll stay up at home. But with those games just after the World Cup, Wolves at home and Southampton at home, we've got to get a way of finding 3 points in games you don't expect, which is weirdly like, you know, getting a result against like your 2 teams or Newcastle. Games you don't expect, but touch wood they can. But 9 points in 12, I think we probably stay up.
Can't complain. Well, listen, before we wrap up, there is a big game tomorrow, of course, as well. Let me just get a quick prediction for those, because, of course, Arsenal versus City.
What's tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry, yeah. But give us a prediction for that one. Big one.
Mentality-wise, you've got to look at City going into it stronger, aren't they? However, Arsenal are a different beast at the Emirates. They just are, and they play fantastic football. The fans are going to be up for it. And then when I look at it, who wants this more? You've won 4 Premier Leagues. Arsenal haven't won for 18 years. Young group of players. I think Arsenal are going to be up for this, and I think they're going to beat them, lad.
Especially coming off the back of how they've been, 3 results that haven't gone their way. They're going to be hungry.
Yeah,
hungry.
2-1 for me.
2-1.
Yeah, to Arsenal.
Where you going? 2-1. Who you going?
I'm gonna go 1-0. I just don't. It's Pep and Arteta, isn't it?
Yeah, master versus student.
Exactly.
It's lovely. I agree.
This game,
I think 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, again, it's both teams are going to counter each other.
I think it'll be the worst scoreline if it's a draw. I need someone to lose me.
Me too.
I need it.
Storyline, lad, innit?
I need it to be Arteta.
Young sensei.
Pep 2-1. It's coming home. Yeah. Have you been seeing the way Pep's been talking in the press this week?
We have enough. It's okay. We have enough. We have enough anyway.
He's been talking crazy. I can't lie to you. It's almost like he's embraced his villain arc.
Yeah, it is.
He's accepted. I am Darth Vader. Forget Luke Skywalker.
Do you see what he said about Gerrard?
Hated. Oh, it's my fault, Gerrard. Sleepy.
Yeah? I was like, why'd you have to use that analogy?
I'm sorry, Mr. Stevie.
I was like, why did you bring that up?
Okay. Gerrard catching strays for no reason.
These presses, though, they're mind games. It's like before, like boxing matches, isn't it? Like it is getting in the heads of people.
And this is what Fergie used to do. Arsenal just starting to crack a little bit under the results a little bit. He's turning the pressure. And I think as well, City have been going through, people won't say it, but a little bit of a transition with the Haaland coming in, offloading a few players. I think Pep's built a tight-knit team now. And he's like, you know what? It's us against the world. City haven't ever been able to create a siege mentality. And he's used the charges. He's used Arsenal's little title run. And he's like, yo, it's us against the world. Us against the Premier League. I'm scared of Pep.
You ever thought about writing books and stories and that, like? Because you...
I know I'd sell it.
Way
Alright, listen. We hope you've had a good stream anyway, because we certainly have. Doyle, Ellie, Mikey, appreciate you guys as always. Listen, make sure you like, make sure you share this as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because if you're not, how are you going to catch all this good content? Listen, make sure you're back here on Wednesday. I believe we might have something for the Arsenal City game as well. So make sure you're subscribed for that. Everybody else, we are out. Peace.